All right. Welcome to Indie Corner After Dark. We're not only talking about all things independent comics, but everything comics. I'm Mikey.
I'm Seamus.
And today, people, we're back at another episode of the Indie Corner After Dark, episode number 40. I don't know why it says 47 on there. 48 of the Indie Corner podcast. We're back. We're back after a very, I'm not going to say long hiatus, but it was definitely a hiatus for sure, because I was doing some last minute prep for a convention that we're going to talk about in a bit for the past month, so there was no time to do any podcast stuff. I just wanted to wait until I was all done and wrapped up with that. But yeah, Seamus, we're back, bro. We're back. How's it feel? Does it feel good? Does it feel? Yeah,
it feels nice. It's like an old shoe.
An old shoe, a little bit of dust, a little bit of linen in the soles and shit, but you know, still fits. Still fits.
Smells a little funky, but it feels nice.
But yeah, man, we're back at it again with this episode. Again, we're gonna be doing what we've been doing for a while, just like, you know, a bunch of news. It's gonna be the news after dark episode, talking about a bunch of topics, you know, and you know, giving our thoughts on that stuff. But yeah, people. But as always, if you haven't, if you found us, appreciate y'all for coming back. And if you haven't found, if you're just new to finding us, you know, we appreciate if you know, do the typical, you know, like and subscribe, leave a like, and then subscribe to the channel so you can get more of this lovely content. And yeah, Seamus, I'm excited. Hopefully you're excited. And
I am.
Yeah, indeed I am.
Indeed I am. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm actually entirely AI this episode.
Yeah. You know, you're the reason why there's like a data center about to like pop up in my community, because it's for you. Yep. You need this AI data center.
I don't have to do these episodes.
At some point, you will just become the episode. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like OMAC.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be OMAC, and then you're gonna be ruining the environments of these communities at the same time. Good for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Well, let's get into our first topic, bro. So yeah, like I was saying, I was prepping for a convention for the past month. It actually ended like a little over a week ago now. Yeah, like a little over a week ago now. But like previous weekend, not last week, but the weekend before that, I did a little tiny convention. It's not really that tiny actually. Called BlerDCon. I did BlerDCon, which is based in Arlington, Virginia, in Washington D.C. in the DMV area. And yeah, I just want to give a little quick recap of what my experience. Me and Sean, who is you know, the head of the Zion Network, we're going to be doing an actual like more extensive recap on Saturday evening. Sunday evening. So yeah, just, you know, if you haven't followed him already, at the Zion Network, THEXIONNETWORK network, on Instagram. So just be tuned for that. But I was giving my brief thoughts. This year was dope. It was a lot of fun. I think it was personally my best BlerDCon in terms of sales that I've ever done. I've done the con since 2022. And this year was my most successful year ever at their artist alley. And yeah, it was a lot of fun this year because BlerDCon is themed every year. So this year was the theme was like, which I was iffy on, because like I usually used to make artwork or specific pieces tied to the theme. I couldn't really make anything that specific this year except for like a few things, but it was Geeknik Cars and Bars. So like Geeknik, which is now it's like, you know, Freaknik back in the day. So it was kind of like hip hop, or like, you know, hip hop block party kind of like focused. And yeah, it was dope. I always keep telling Seamus about BlerDCon, but people that haven't been there, you know, it's pretty much a 3-day convention set in that takes place in not just in the main hotel, which is the Hyatt Regency hotel, beautiful hotel, but it's also spread across the 3 other hotels that are in the area, so the Marriott as well as the Hilton, and it's pretty much a non-stop convention for 3 days. So like it's on a 24-hour model, so things are happening every 24 hours. They have everything from, you know, the artist alley, which were me and some of my homies and a lot of my homies were at. They have panels that are happening all the time, workshops that are happening all the time. There is an arcade downstairs that has everything from like SNES to like PS5 and also like classic arcade games, all for free. There are gaming tournaments happening all the time. There's raves, and there's a food truck festival outside. There's people performing and doing concerts and stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff to do. You'll never be bored if you ever go down there. And it's a lot of people. Like this year felt like the most packed that's ever been. Maybe like 500 people, maybe more than that. Like it was a lot of people coming in and out of the convention. And yeah, man. Seamus, you know what's funny? Did I tell you who the guests were this year?
No.
Okay, so it's crazy. So the guests this year, they got Zazie Beetz showed up to promote her film They Will Kill You. I didn't get a chance to see her because it was so busy this year in terms of Artist Alley, because usually like Fridays are always slow, and then Saturdays are always the busy days, and then Sundays are like the solid days depending on how it is. How cons go, but every single day felt like a Saturday, bro. It was ridiculous. I didn't get a chance to actually explore. But yeah, Zazie Beetz showed up. They had a whole display for her downstairs. I thought it was a meet and greet at first, but it was like a meet and greet area. But no, it was like a place where you could do like special effects makeup and stuff and promote the movie. There's that. Godfrey was a guest, the comedian. Godfrey was there as well. Which I thought was really cool. I have a story I'll share off camera, Seamus, of me interacting with Godfrey briefly, but. Yeah, man. I can tell you this. He had a good ass time. There's that. Carl Jones and his wife Love Jones. If you don't know, Carl Jones is animator, character designer, creator of the Boondocks, Black Dynamite, and also he's the founder of his studio Martian Blueberry, who's working on an anime with Megan Thee Stallion right now. I really wish I got a chance to meet him because I'm a huge fan of his work since I was a kid. And I was like, if I saw him, I would have begged him for a job. So, but he was there. And also the studio Gonzo, the head of Gonzo America, who was the studio behind my favorite anime of all time, Afro Samurai. She was down there. I was hoping she was. And I wish these people knew about art like that. Art walk through Artist Alley. Cause I don't think any of them did. And I was like, God damn it! Like it's but. I would have loved to have met her, but again, there's a lot of Afro Samurai cosplays and like Kuma cosplays this year, which is dope. So, nice. Yeah, that was dope. But the creme de la creme, Seamus, the creme de la creme. It was a musical guest. It was a hip hop guest actually. You want to take a guess on who this person is? I'll give you a hint. It's kind of 90s, early 2000s rapper, male, and he is affiliated with one of my favorite MCs. You would know who this person is for sure.
What? Is it someone? Is it someone? Like weird, funny, or is it like, oh, this guy's actually like a dude? Like this guy's a big get.
Yeah, the second one.
Big get? Is it like
So 90s, early 2000s. That's like the range.
I'm gonna guess Ludacris.
Oh, I wish Ludacris came through, bro. No, it wasn't.
I'm gonna guess
Ludacris.
Fuck.
I'll give you another one. Ludacris also is one of my favorite. I love Ludacris, but
90s, early 2000s, and then some.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Well,
what was it like? Tech 9 was pulling up. When you had the game there.
No, bro. If the game was there, I would have kicked his ass out myself. Real quick.
Did you see they had like a? Did you see a bunch of girls came out and said that he used the same pickup line on all of them in their Instagram DMs?
I wouldn't be surprised. That man's corny.
And it was like 18 of them.
That's crazy. Real quick though, shout out to Midtown Comics, my boy Lloyd from Midtown Comics, celebrating I think the 5th anniversary. Nice. They're dope indie publisher. We were hanging out a bit at BlerDCon this year. Amazing. I love what they do. So shout out to them. Shout out to y'all. Happy that you're here, bro. But no, it was Redman, bro. Redman showed up.
Nice.
Dude, I didn't get a chance to meet him because it's just because I was at Artist Alley, but he did perform I think like Saturday night. But he was there promoting a comic book. He was selling merch as well as also selling getting people aware of his actual political party that he's a part of. It's they're a pro marijuana. They're the first pro cannabis political party So he was just there promoting all that. Yeah, man. So yeah, those are the guests I can think of off the top of my head. But it was a dope ass time and a lot of fun. A lot of especially when it comes to Blerd, like it's always a reunion every time. So like I'm just reconvening with like all my artists, all of my colleagues, my previous supporters, and also meeting new supporters as well. Yeah, man, it was a good ass time, bro. But yeah, maybe and then next year the theme that they announced next year is my dream theme. I've been waiting for them to do this since my first year, but they're doing wrestling next year. I can't wait. I'm ready to make some new art. I want to know what guests they're gonna bring. Hopefully it's everyone black.
That's gonna be
it's gonna be dope, dude. Like I don't know who they're gonna bring, but like just get every black wrestler to just come through, honestly. But yeah, Seamus, you gotta come because again, it's wrestling, so you don't have a choice. But yeah, man. But
I know that's my theme. They're doing it specifically to pull me in.
Yeah, they're doing it for you, bro. So you gotta come through. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. But also just real quick, everyone who came to the table, got print, got like a sticker. I was doing a sticker this year, and those sold like crazy. Really appreciate it. And also some of the old supporters, appreciate you. New supporters, appreciate you. Shout out to my boy Ray, who is one of my childhood best friends who lives in the DMV area now. We had a huge reunion. I haven't seen him since high school, so he was the guy that got me into Invincible. So like the podcast, me podcasting wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for him. So yeah, so that was great. Also did a panel as well. I did my first panel for the first time, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. So for Karl Marx, BlerDCon's new theme will be awesome, bro. Shout out to Karl Marx, supporter of the pod as always. Come through. I don't know if you were there, bro, but like come through, bro. It's gonna be a good ass time next year. But yeah, all right, that's all I gotta say. Just a little quick recap, but again, just to remind y'all, please follow. I'll put it in the chat. Follow the Zion Network on Instagram, and me and my boy Sean. We are going to be talking more about BlerDCon in depth Sunday evening. So, yeah, please give them a follow for that. All right, so we'll just move on to now. The next topic. Obviously, Seamus on Sunday was the 98th Academy Awards, the Oscars. And I like how last year I'm gonna mind doing this like every year just briefly because I remember we did the Oscars last year and had a lot of fun with that. So it's gonna be like a little like continued tradition every year, just us doing a little like quick recap. But yeah, overall I thought the Oscars this year was dope. I mean, it was Conan O'Brien, hosting again. I thought he did a great job last year. Yeah. So yeah, he was fantastic. So I mean, it's always a nice little break from Kimmel. So
yeah, but it wasn't though because he showed up.
He showed up, yeah. He did show up.
Look at his ass doing like his like boring fucking. He pissed me off. I remember. We probably still have those clips on the channel of me going like I hate Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. It was, but other than that, it was a good show. Only thing I have an issue with, I think me and you we discussed this like right when it happened like off camera, but like they gotta really stop cutting people off during their speeches for runtime. It's very disrespectful. I hate it.
It's ridiculous. It's an award show. These people are winning the awards. Let the motherfuckers talk. I don't know why they're giving them like a 15-second like limit instead of like I'd say give them like a minute. You know what I mean? Give them a full minute to say whatever they want, or like a minute and a half. You know what I mean? It's the whole reason the show's happening is to give these people the awards. It's so stupid to have to like cut them out so that way we can have every presenter do a bit. And it's like we don't need every presenter to do a bit. We can have more speeches. Ridiculous. It's so weird.
It's so weird. And just real quick, I'm just going to go down like the list of some of the notable wins of the night. But shout out to EJ and the EJK and the cast of and the writers for K-Pop Demon Hunters. They won best original song for the song Golden, obviously, which I thought was no question that was gonna win because it was like everywhere.
That was one of the 4 categories I got wrong because I really wanted I Lied to You.
Yeah, I wanted I Lied to You as well.
And I was like, I know it's gonna be golden, but I'm gonna, because sometimes when I do my Oscar picks, I pick the one that I'm like, okay, I'm putting all my spiritual energy into picking this one, so I hope it wins, even though I know it probably won't.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like golden was everywhere, so I was surprised. But I was very happy for EJ because she took the Emmy, she took the Emmy, she took the Golden Globe. Now she got the. Did she take an actor awards too? No, she didn't. She wasn't there. But she's not taking the Oscar. That's fantastic. So I'm very happy for her and the team. But also, K-pop Demon Hunters won Best Animated Feature, which again I also wasn't surprised by. It was really no contest, in my opinion, because it was an amazing film.
There should have been a contest though, because I've had an issue with them not, for some God knows why reason, not having any anime movies in Best Animated Feature. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think like Reza Arc and Infinity Castle kind of was giving K-pop Demon Hunters a run for its money. I heard those are great. So
Reza Arc was like my in my top 10 of the year, and I'm like. And what's the reason we can't nominate this for Best Animated Feature? What's going on? Like what the fuck happened?
But they'll put a Miyazaki film on there and immediately give it the Oscar.
Yeah. And not disrespecting Miyazaki, but like he, it's just such a weird category still. There's a lot of weird shit at the Oscars that they still, even though we're coming up on the 100th Oscars, we're still working shit out.
Also, again, the next one is our Swedish Jesus. Ludwig Göransson won Best Original Score for Sinners, which is like
I thought that was deserved, and I did think that it was better than Johnny Greenwood's One Battle score. I love Johnny Greenwood, but it wasn't my favorite Johnny Greenwood score. He's a weird Zionist, so it's also a little hard to be like, but like his Johnny Greenwood's Phantom Thread score is incredible.
It was good.
His One Battle score was not really like the star of the show, and you know what I mean. Whereas Sinners music was intrinsically tied to the movie itself.
It's integral. It's integral to the film. The movie doesn't work without the score, and which I could say for the next winner as well. Autumn Durald Arkapaw won Best Cinematography on Sunday, and also made history as the first woman to ever to win this award.
This was surprising to me. Not that I didn't think she didn't deserve it, but I thought that this was one that this was a category that One Battle had locked in.
You thought so?
Yeah. I thought One Battle was winning cinematography in all the other previous award.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So you know what I mean. So I had One Battle, and I picked Sinners because I was like, it was another one where I'm like, I really like the Sinners cinematography. I'm gonna pick that because I know One Battle's winning, but like, I hope Sinners wins. And then it happened, and I was like, see, this is why you pick the one that's not gonna win, because every once in a while when it does win, you get to be like, I picked that one.
But
yeah, her that was very well deserved. I was very happy for her
because again, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's like her cinematography doesn't like if she doesn't do like her cinematography is so integral to the film that like you can't have Sinners without her. Like same thing with Ludwig as well. Like it's integral.
The movie would be very different without her in a way that I'm not sure would be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like without her, I think the movie might be slightly worse. No matter who you get, unless you're getting someone like insane, which she's incredible. She did a really good job.
And her, with her cinematography and her DPing, it was. I remember when I watched the film for the first time, and when I left the theater, I was like, wow, they actually like made Jim Crow South like really beautiful to look at. Like, whereas for a time so bleak and so dark, I was like, it's like the sunsets, the red, yellow hues, the way the nighttime looks. I was like, this is amazing. Yeah. They made a shack, they made a juke joint that was made out of a freaking like a farmhouse or like a shack look awesome.
Yeah. A KKK farmhouse, and it looked cool as fuck.
Yeah. So again, man, shout out to her. Congratulations. Very happy for her making history. Joshua Seftel won Best Documentary Short Film for. I just have the title in my head. I just forgot it. But it was the one on Netflix about the rooms of kids that were that were killed in school shootings.
Yes, yeah, the Perfect Room or something.
The perfect.
No,
Yeah,
no, I'm
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
of. I was thinking of Perfect Neighbor.
Yeah, I'm trying to. If you can find it up, if you can look it up for me real quick.
I'm pulling it up.
Okay, but congrats to him. I didn't watch the film just because the subject matter is a little rough. But
all the empty rooms. It was all the empty rooms.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the doc, but I remember watching the original CBS Morning news story they did on it. And that was really tough. And I'm like, I can't imagine this is like a full documentary. That's kind of, but yeah.
Yeah, it was, but I was very happy that it did win, and the fact that they were obviously bringing awareness to, the mass shootings and the mass shooting problem in this country, the gun violence in this country, and also the fact that they had one of the women, one of the moms involved in the Uvalde shooting a couple years ago on stage to say her piece. That was a very beautiful and captivating moment, and I was very happy.
I'm surprised the Oscars didn't cut her off either.
Yeah, honestly.
They were ruthless that night. I was literally sitting there going like, oh my God, are they really about to cut off this poor lady?
But yeah, so that's that with that. Then best documentary film, film went to Mr. Nobody Against Putin, which I've never heard of before.
Undeserved. I actually thought it was undeserved.
Really?
It was a very middling documentary. It didn't really have much to say about Putin and his dictatorship over Russia and the resistance that's there. It was kind of more of like a very like, I don't know. It was a movie that felt like it was telling you shit that you already knew from a guy who thought he was like groundbreaking, and you're like, dude, you're not groundbreaking. Like we all kind of already know this information about Russia and about like how to resist a dictator, and like, you know what I mean? Like it felt very simple. That was another category that I didn't get because I had picked. What the fuck did I pick? I picked The Perfect Neighbor, the Netflix one, because that one I watched.
I wanted that one to win, and like it got an ovation too when it got called. I was like, yeah, it's gonna win because I loved that documentary, and it was one of those experiences when I watched it last year. And then, like, the more it kept going, it made me realize, oh wait, it's about that shooting that happened a couple years ago. Because I remember hearing that in passing, and I was like, and I forgot about it, and I was like, holy shit! And then, so that was, I mean, other than subject matters, it was pretty rough, and I'm very happy that the woman's in jail. but it was one of those.
That documentary I thought was at least a little more interesting than Mr. Nobody Against Putin, just because you know what I mean. It's just like It feels weird because Mr. Nobody Against Putin winning feels like one of the selections that would happen before everyone was required to watch all the documentaries. But this was the first year where everyone who voted was required to watch everything in every category. So weird that they picked that, but
yeah,
who knows?
But what was it? Best international feature film went to Sentimental Value, which is a Norwegian film directed by
deserved.
Joachim Trier.
Joachim Trier.
Okay, there you go. I've heard about this movie. I've not seen it because it has Stellan Skarsgård in it, right?
Yep, Stellan Skarsgård and Elle Fanning, and Stellan Skarsgård plays an asshole dad who is making another movie. He's like an auteur, incredible filmmaker, and he's making his next movie, and he wants his daughter to play a fictionalized version of herself, and he's going to play a fictionalized version of himself. And his daughter's like, no, I don't want anything to do with you. You're like a piece of shit. And it's like the whole movie is him hiring Elle Fanning to play his daughter, and Elle Fanning and his daughter kind of butting heads. But also,
Elle Fanning playing herself?
Elle Fanning plays herself.
That's hilarious.
Kind of. It's not her name, but it's basically like her playing a young up-and-coming actress, you know what I mean, who's starring in this Artur's movie, and it's like that, you know what I mean, and it was very good. Stellan Skarsgård gives an incredible performance. Him getting nominated for best was it? I think Best Supporting was very good.
Okay.
Yeah, and very good movie. I personally liked Secret Agent more.
Yeah, our
I was a
Secret
big
Agent's really
Secret
good.
Agent writer. I just like that movie more. It's no disrespect to Joaquin Trier or Sentimental Value. They're both like on the same level to me. It's just personal preference. I like Secret Agent.
Okay.
That was fun.
Yeah, I gotta check out Secret Agent because I heard the title is not what you expect it to. It's not what it appears to be. Because I'm thinking I'm thinking espionage immediately. You know,
it's like a real life Secret Agent. You know what I mean? Like if you think real life Secret Agent, it's like a dude doing espionage, and he's joking that he's a secret agent, but it's really him just like, you know, doing like menial like bureaucratic stuff, and like also trying to like, you know, quietly like do certain, you know what I mean? It's like that type of thing where you're like, oh, it's a lot less glamorous than like you'd think it'd be, which is why I think I enjoyed it a lot. And Wagner Moore's performance in that was so good.
I gotta check it out. I think it's on HBO Max. I'm gonna check it out at least sometime in the next like week or so. Next, I already said it already, but K-pop Demon Hunters won Best Animated Feature Film. Again, I was very happy about that. I couldn't say it with anything else besides that win because of how successful K-pop Demon Hunters was, how innovative it was. So yeah, and then also just real quick, just a rewind, just to connect it back. When I mentioned the best original score, it was EJ's and her team's speech that got cut off, and I was like, why? Like, stop. Like, they've been waiting a year or more for this moment. Let them have their moment. Like, come on now.
I know. And it's like, yeah, let's cut off the Korean dude right as he's about to like try to start speaking. It's like, come the fuck on.
But backstage, they were able to get what they wanted to say out there, and even then they almost got cut off. But they was like, no, we're having our moment. So they just continued.
Bullshit. Just fucking. The whole reason you're there is to celebrate these people. And then as soon as they get their time, you're like, well, we got to move on so that way we can do an extended 15-minute bridesmaids bit. And you're like, I don't need this to be that long. Like, you could make that like 2 jokes and then let everyone else get their speeches in instead of like having it be like a full fucking, I don't know. They got to do something about trying to make everything a bit at the Oscars because it's a little too much.
It can get annoying. All right, next up, the one I was very happy about was our GOAT from Oakland, based out the Bay, Ryan Coogler, got Best Original Screenplay. And I was like, yes.
Yep, like, that's 100% deserved. And that was 100% exactly what I wanted to see.
And you know what I noticed? Where it's like, Double Toasted, Corey on Double Toasted made a good point where he said that like the moment he knew that Ryan Coogler got Best Original Screenplay, he knew he wasn't gonna get like Best Picture because that's an apparent trend that happens where it's like, if a director is nominated for Best Picture and Best Original Screenplay, that's probably, if they get Original Screenplay, they're probably not getting Best Picture just because it's like a consolation prize like amongst like, you know, the film.
It's occasional. Yeah. But literally last year it happened where Sean Baker got Best Screenplay, Best Director, and Best Picture.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's actually out of the question. And if there was any other director who would be able to do it now, it would be Ryan Coogler. You know what I mean? Yep. I could totally see him in the future doing a screenplay director to picture Triple Crown win. You know?
Yeah, for sure. All right. So best supporting actress went to Amy Madigan for Weapons, which I thought was deserved, but like I also was kind of low-key rooting for Wumi Mosaku, but like, you know,
no disrespect to Amy Madigan, she gave a great performance. I don't think this was that as deserved. I don't think this was as egregious as Jamie Lee Curtis's win. It was definitely not that level. I saw some people saying that, and I was like, no. But come on, let's be sensible.
You saw how mad I was. You saw how mad I was when Jamie Lee Curtis won. I was pissed.
I know, and like. Yeah, that was. But you look at everyone else in this category, and Amy Madigan's performance is good, and it's really solid. But it really makes you go like, that was the one. You know what I mean? Where you're like, really? That was the. Not that you're mad about it or that you don't think it didn't deserve it, but like I kind of feel like I was like, damn, I would have gone Tiana Taylor or Wunmi Mosaku. Like easily, handedly.
I honestly thought it was gonna be Tiana Taylor actually because she won the Golden Globe, you know. But when she didn't win the actor award, I was like, wait a minute, like that's odd, you know?
Yeah, weird win. I don't feel not that I'm mad about it, or not that I'm gonna be like this is one of the worst wins. I'm just gonna be like, imagine if Tiana Taylor got that though.
That would be amazing. I was honestly, she was my top choice.
Amy Madigan's speech was great. She's lovely. Watching Ed Harris cry his eyes out at his wife winning. And the last time she got nominated was 40 years ago, and she got nominated again and won it. You're like, good for her.
It's a good comeback. It's a good comeback story for sure. And I appreciate the comeback.
It's totally, and it's exactly what the Oscars likes because they love giving it to old people who maybe deserved it a couple years back. You know what I mean? They love that shit. They're like, oh, we're finally giving it to Leo. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense, but also it's like, guys, we're in 2026. We can kind of like start giving it to young guys now, right? Yeah. Like we can start giving it to young people, which we'll talk about later. They did, but it's you know.
Yeah, for me, it was like Tiana Taylor. She was actually my choice to win, and then Wunmi if they're not Tiana, and then I guess Amy Madigan because I really Matt loved Weapons, so I was happy Weapons won something at the end of the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say And I'm happy Weapons won. Maybe a weird one for Weapons to win. But,
true.
Because I definitely would have. I love Elle Fanning. I love Inga. They both were good in sentimental value, but I really felt like that movie was, no disrespect to them, that movie was like Stellan Skarsgård putting up numbers. You know what I mean? That movie was literally Stellan Skarsgård going I'm going hard because this is a story that's very close to me. Yeah. And those two, not saying they're bad, but they were given a lot to bounce off of, and they did it very well, and they were very, very good. But like Wunmi Mosaku and Tiana Taylor were both frying, especially Tiana Taylor. She's only in 20 minutes of the movie, and her presence
in the film was
that movie forever.
Felt.
Yeah. And it's like, damn, that's a fucking performance you give an Oscar to. Only 20 minutes of screen time. That's a real supporting performance. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's
all right. Wait, so
I love her, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure, bro. I get it. But again, W Weapons. So I mean, I can't be upset.
I hope that Resident Evil movie's good, man.
We'll see. We're gonna get him on the show. I promise. We're gonna get him on the show. Next up was Best Supporting Actor, and that one went to Sean Penn from About After Another. He wasn't even there. I'll say this off rip.
That was hilarious. I loved watching Kieran Culkin go like he didn't want to be here, so I'm gonna accept the award on his behalf, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh man, with Kieran Culkin, because I missed the award, so like I didn't know who actually accepted it on his behalf. It was Kieran Culkin.
Yeah, it's fucking Kieran Culkin. Maybe the worst person to accept award on your behalf because he's gonna be like, funny. Man, what an asshole.
That's so funny. But I'm gonna say it, bro. I thought Delroy should have gotten this. I wanted Delroy getting this award. In my opinion, I thought Delta Sum was a great supporting character.
I think everyone in that category except, and no offense to Jacob Elordi, I think everyone except Jacob Elordi in that category could have won, and I would have been happy with it. It is depressing. It went to maybe the biggest asshole in that category. And that's really hard. But his performance in One Battle After Another was objectively incredible, and
it was great. Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean? You can't deny that. Would it have been much nicer to give it to Benicio or Delroy, who were actually there and actually wanted that award and actually worked there, instead of the asshole who doesn't really care about the awards and kind of shits on everyone and is an abuser and is kind of an all-around asshole? Like, that sucks. That's depressing, but like, it's not like he didn't give a great performance. So I think that's the part that sucks the most about it, is that he gave a good performance.
He did a really good performance. I mean, but me personally, I love Delroy's performance more, man. I thought Delta Sum was a great character. Especially when he was saying this shit that the black community doesn't want to admit to themselves is true.
When he was riffing in the car, I was like, he's going God mode. He's going God mode. This is like,
but the fact that he was ripping in the car to mask his pain and his trauma, I was like, oh, so good. But yeah, listen, I'll give Sean Penn this because he gave us one of the funniest memes of last year, where he's like, "You like black girls? I love them."
Sean Penn's performance throughout that movie was also the same type of godlike as Delroy, where you're like watching it going like, holy shit, where did this guy pull this character from? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just like, oh my god, this guy is pulling from like so many different emotional sources and different spiritual, like it felt like he was like if someone was inhabiting him. But the same with Delroy, where you're like, damn, I'm not seeing Delroy anymore. I'm seeing that dude.
I'm saying Lockjaw, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you're like, damn. And I think that's why it's so depressing. What the fucking Sean Penn who wasn't there? So we couldn't see Delroy give like a heartfelt speech, or Benicio give a heartfelt speech of like how much they love the industry, how much they love acting.
Did you see Spike Lee's interview where he went after the awards happened, like during the after party, when someone asked him was like how he felt about Doors, when he was not happy about it. He was very let down by it. I was like, yeah, man, that's how we all feel.
And that's understandable because like it does suck to have a dickhead not show up to an award ceremony when like there's a perfectly deserving, very well respected and well beloved actor sitting right there going, hey, I would like it, you know?
Yeah.
But that's just how it went. Not undeserving, but Sean Penn is an undeserving person. So
yeah, true. He really is. All right, so next category, Best Actress, that went to Jessie Buckley for her role in Hamnet. This is your territory because I haven't seen Hamnet yet, still, but yeah, but I mean, it's just, I mean, who was nominated with her again? I'm gonna look.
Rose Byrne was nominated for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, which
I have to see as well. That I heard the movie was great.
Kate Hudson was nominated for Song Sung Blue, which no, and then. Renate Rensbe was nominated for Sentimental Value, which yes, because
and then Emma Stone was nominated for Begonia, and I watched Begonia. I loved Begonia.
So, out of those ones, I do think Jessie Buckley was the most deserving. I do think that she gave objectively. This is not like other people gave a similar performance. I think she gave the best performance out of that group.
Yeah.
My only sticking point is that I don't think Hamnet was as good of a movie, maybe as some of the others, like Begonia in that category.
Begonia was so good, dude.
Not that I don't like Chloe Zhao, not that I don't like anyone involved in Hamnet.
Yeah.
Yes, Hamnet for me was. I felt like there were a lot of moments that were trying to get me to cry instead of the movie allowing me to cry. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of there were a lot of moments in that movie that were like grand suggestions of like, and now you cry. And it's like, okay, but when you do that, I feel less emotional because you're like telegraphing it. You know what I mean? And I think that is the only reason that movie, for me, didn't work maybe as well as some other people. I do know that a lot of people who it really resonated with people who are parents, you know what I mean, which is more understandable. That's what the movie's about. I'm not a parent. I can't really relate to that yet. So like understandable, but like Jessie Buckley objectively did give an incredible performance in that, and she was the driving force behind almost making me cry a lot because it would just cut to her and she'd just be giving the most heartbreaking fucking, and you'd be like, oh, and then her speech about motherhood and stuff. You're like, yeah, that's where she drew it from. That's where she was getting all that emotion from, and deservedly so. I think if I had to give it to anyone else in this category, my runner-up would probably be Rose Byrne. Rose Byrne was crazy, and If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. A crazy performance. And then Emma Stone.
She won the Golden Globe. Yep. Yeah, so
she was crazy in it. She was great, and Conan was in that movie as her therapist, and he's so fucking weird in that movie. I love him.
That's okay. I gotta check it out. But all right, so we'll just move on. But the highlight for me for the night in general was that our boy, our guy, our GOAT, Michael B. Jordan won Best Actor. Man, I was so happy. I jumped out of my seat. I almost cried. Like I was so happy because like, man, we practically like grew up on Michael B. Jordan, bro. Like that, like it was.
Creed's been in my 4 favorites on Letterboxd for like 8 years at this point.
Creed's up my top 10 films of all time. Mm-hmm. For me personally, it's just like it was great to see because I first discovered Michael B. Jordan in the movie Chronicle, which is on my Letterboxd. It's my second favorite movie of all time. And I just see him grow from discovering on there and loving him, and he became one of my favorite actors or ever since Chronicle, to go from that to Creed to Black Panther, to Sinners. It's just been a marvel to watch. It's been a joy to watch. So like I felt like honestly not as happy, but I felt like so proud of him to just watch him grow and evolve as an actor on screen, and for him to reach this moment, I mean, I don't know him personally, obviously, but like I felt like because I've grown up with him, so it was very nice to see. I was so proud of him for the culture, I thought it was dope. But yeah, man, and I thought his speech was dope. And also he is the like sixth person to win. Sixth black person to win Best Actor ever out of like the near 100th year history of the Oscars, which is like ridiculous. He's the sixth
black man to win Best Actor.
Yeah. That's what I meant. But yeah, I mean, it's and I think for him, this isn't the end. I think it's gonna only go up from here in terms of his career now after this win. So I'm very happy and proud of him for sure. Yeah, man. And then obviously the last sets of categories are won by pretty much one person, but Best Director and Best Adapted Screenplay went to Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another.
I like how you dodged my thoughts on Best Actor because we had that whole argument the other day.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear me say I would have liked to see Timmy win it.
I don't know what. Sorry.
Because here's the thing. No, real quick. This is my show too. Okay, I'm on here too. You don't want me to give my opinion? Don't have me on the fucking program. I think that I would have liked to see Timmy win it for his role as Marty Mauser. But I think that me personally, I would have liked to see Timmy as Marty Mauser in the Best Actor race next year, because unfortunately, I like Michael B. Jordan winning an Oscar too much, and I don't know when Michael B. Jordan's going to be back. Whereas Timothée Chalamet, he's going to be back right there next year with Dune 3. You know what I mean? So I already knew he was going to be back, and I was like, oh, Marty Mauser as a role he wins for would have been cool. But like Michael B. Jordan as Smoke and Stack, it's arguably cooler for a win. And like you look at that entire Best Actor category, and it really could have gone to anyone, and I would have been
anyone. Happy. Yeah, it was a really well stacked.
Could have gone to Leo. Could have gone to Wagner Moura. Even Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon. I didn't like Blue Moon all that much, but Ethan Hawke was putting up numbers in that movie. But I think it going to Michael B. Jordan, honestly, probably was it was like a cherry on top. You were just like, oh, perfect. You know what? Yeah, fucking Michael B. Jordan does deserve it. He's been fucking acting his ass off in everything he's been in for the past couple of years. And looking at the other nominees, Timmy's gonna be, of course, nominated again at some point. Leo's gonna be nominated again at some point. Wagner Moura probably because of his performance in that, and Ethan Hawke's been nominated a bunch of times too. You know what I mean? All these actors have already been there before. Michael B. Jordan, this is his first nomination, surprisingly.
Ever. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would have thought he would have gotten a nod for like Black Panther or Creed or Fruitvale Station back in the day. You know what I mean? Any of that shit? Nah, this is his first one. And I was kind of like, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. Let's give it to Michael B. Jordan. And they did. And it was a very good moment because you see how it affected him and you're like, yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's exactly what the fuck I was looking for. So, yeah, I do like it.
And part of me was kind of thinking in the back of my mind, I was like, man, I wish Chadwick was here to see it,
Oh, that would have been, oh.
That would have been amazing.
Tears in my eyes if they cut to Chadwick in the crowd clapping. Oh
my gosh. Yeah, man. So but then Paul Thomas Anderson took Best Director, Best Directing, Best Adapted Screenplay, and One Battle won Best Picture. And I'll say this just real quick so we can move on because we have other topics to go through. But Yeah, I thought best directing. Best directing. I thought was fine.
It was a toss up between Coogler and PTA, and as long as one of those got it, they were right. That was a right.
Yeah, because again, just to clear the air, like One Battle After Another was my second favorite movie of the year. Sinners was my first. So if One Battle After Another winning awards, I was fine with. But I don't really know what was in the other what the other noms were for best adapted screenplay. So I can't really speak on that. But best picture, I was fine with it. Again, I would have loved to win. I wanted Sinners to win. Personally, I thought Sinners was fantastic. I think Sinners might, because I've watched it enough times, I think Sinners might actually be on my top 5. I have to change my letterbox, because I love the film so much. And I think it has I think it's one of the most culturally impactful films of like the past decade. I think in my opinion.
Could you imagine if Marvel just let him make that Blade movie?
Yeah, because this was supposed to, wasn't this supposed to be his Sinners originally like a Blade pitch, and then they just
this spun out of his Blade pitch, and then he pitched this to Marvel, he started making it, and then Marvel went, no, we actually want to go in a different direction. So then Coogler was like, cool, can I actually just buy all of the production stuff off of you, like all the costumes we already made and all that shit, and just make my own movie? And they were like, sure, we'll sell it to you. That helps us get our money back. And then he made a movie that got the most Oscar-nominated film of all time. And you're like, Marvel,
they must feel stupid. I remember like when the movie came out, we watched. I was like, man, Marvel must feel so dumb letting this go. You know,
they're going to be writing him the biggest blank check for Black Panther 3, though, which is going to be
100%. But yeah, man, and
I was going to say, I think One Battle Best Picture deserved. I think PTA director deserved. I think adapted screenplay, of course, deserved. PTA getting it after so long, you know, you kind of regret that he didn't get it earlier, so this could have been Coogler's time, but that's the way things shake out, you know what I mean? PTA probably should have won for Boogie Nights or There Will Be Blood or literally any of his other movies, because he's been making bangers for like 20 straight years. But yeah, I wish it could have been Coogler's time, but honestly, PTA winning it, that's exactly what, as good as I wanted it. Seeing Maya Rudolph in the crowd just crying, you're like, yeah, that's cool. And One Battle winning Best Picture deserved. The same as Sinners. If Sinners won, it would have been deserved,
man. Yeah, because like, again, like, even though I think Sinners was my best movie of the year, I thought One Battle was fantastic. I love that movie.
It was great. It was such a personal story, and it was so emotional and so impactful that you're like, yeah, this is a dude who's pouring his heart out at the fact that the world is so fucked and his kids have to grow up in it. That's rough, you know?
Yeah.
Great movie. Great fucking movie, though. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad most of the awards went to either Sinners or One Battle, because that's exactly what I would have seen.
That's what I wanted, man. Perfect. So, but I mean, just to close it off, just congrats to all the winners. I think most of them were pretty well deserved. And yeah, that's pretty much a wrap. I think last year was a great year for film. Mostly a W for original storytelling, which again is great, because we were kind of at that point where Hollywood, especially like, you know, the big studios like Disney, Warner Brothers, Sony, were just like pumping out IPs, you know, to grab people with nostalgia and doing random sequels for no reason, and just but the fact that last year was a lot more about taking risks, telling stories that are unique, different, but you know, but still captivate audiences, I thought was fantastic to see. And I thought it was kind of like a brief little renaissance there. We're gonna
be right back in the shit though this year. We got Doomsday this year, we got Spider-Man this year, we got all franchise movies.
Exactly.
Super Mario 2, we're fucked.
We're cooked.
Mikey, give me throw out real quick. What is your prediction for Best Picture and then Best Actor and Best Actress? Just give me 3 names.
It's too early for that, bro.
Yeah, that's why it's funny, because you throw it out now and you just go, "Oh, weird." It was movies I didn't even hear of. April.
Okay. I honestly think that this year will actually be the year where Dune wins Best Picture.
I was gonna say, okay, Dune for Best Picture. I don't know. I'm stuck between Timothée Chalamet for Best Actor and Tom Cruise for Best Actor in Digger. And then Best Actress. I think Best Actress is going to be from a movie I have not heard announced yet.
Okay.
It's going to be one of those like Emma Stone's all of a sudden doing another Yorgos Lanthimos at the end of the year, and it's the best performance you ever see. You know what I mean? One of those type of releases where you're gonna be like, of course. So those are my predictions. I can't wait to rewatch this back next year when we do the next year's Oscars recap, and I get to go like, wow, I was spot on, or damn, Dune didn't win shit. Can you believe it? Damn, Mikey, it went to Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom for Best Actor. What the fuck?
Get the gun. Like,
dude, if that happened, oh
my god, get the gun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, we'll just we'll just move on to the next set of topics. We're trying let's get these going. But yeah, so the next topic we're gonna be talking about is because again, because we've been gone for a little while, we're going to be brushing on just like some stuff that we missed. But yeah, so obviously one of the next, big DC projects that is coming out that I'm very excited to watch towards, I think it's coming out like in August of this year, is the TV show Lanterns that's set in James Gunn's DC universe. Yeah, which stars Kyle Chandler, Aaron Pierre, and I know Nathan Fillion is coming back as Guy Gardner, which for people that don't know, he was in Superman and was great in that movie. And yeah, there's going to be more of the fleshing out of the lanterns in this universe. Seamus, if you don't mind, I mean we've already seen the trailer, but like because I love it so much, I don't mind watching it again. Yeah. So yeah, we'll pretty much have our thoughts already, but let's just watch the dots again, give it a little bit of a refresh, and then we'll talk about it. All right. So we will just pause that noise real quick, and we will play the trailer for Lanterns.
With all due respect, we've been training for what, 2 months? And I haven't even worn the ring yet.
Don't get hung up on the jewelry, Junior. You're just a fucking substitute teacher. You're not ready to get up in front of the class touring, says you are. All right.
Already the chemistry is so good. So far.
I could have died.
You want me to train you? I'm training you. Something is off here. I can feel it.
This is my town. You're a big shot. Noted. But stay the fuck out of my way.
I think she hates your guts.
It's the way she hates them.
This is a stupid plan.
Not that stupid.
That I don't doubt. The Green Lantern's oath is to protect people. And we both know I do a better job of this than you.
This is my job. As long as I'm alive, that ain't changing. So take a deep breath, Junior.
You're old. You're tired. And your time is up.
Oh, cool, dude.
I don't understand. Who are you exactly?
Hal Jordan, Green Lantern.
Have you ever talked with the other lanterns?
I'm the only human. They're aliens. One of them's a fucking squirrel.
All right. So just real quick, Seamus, I know we were talking about it, off screen, for a while now when the trailer came out. But now that we just had a little bit of refresher, what are your thoughts on it? Because I remember, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago now when we did the episode of After Dark where it was James Gunn announcing all the projects for his DC universe, like literally like right when he like a month or two after he got hired, and we saw that when the Lantern Show, when he announced the Lantern Show, what artwork he was using the artwork for Green Lantern Earth 1, which me and you are huge fans of that book. So
Yeah.
and he also described it as a true detective inspired kind of Lantern Show that's more focused on detective work, focused on Earth. So yeah, well, what did you think when this trailer dropped?
I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think Damon Lindeloff is a good writer.
Yeah,
I liked his Watchmen show. I liked all the stuff he's done. I'm sure this will be a good show. I think watching that trailer again, I think I came to the personal realization that I'm a little sick of every superhero needing to have a pitch. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm a little sick of every superhero adaptation gotta have something like fucking weird about it, or it's gotta combine like 80 storylines, or it's gotta be its own thing that's based off of this other thing that's like, you know what I mean? And it's like can we not just get like a Green Lantern, like a regular Green Lantern story? You know what I mean? This feels like they're trying to do like a buddy cop origin for Jon Stewart, where like they're kind of hiding the Lantern aspect of it. And you know what I mean? And it feels like they're very like it's grounded. So Green Lantern's serious because like Ryan Gosling was not grounded and his was made fun of because it's fake and gay and we need to get rid of all. You know what I mean? It's like it's Green Lantern. You know what I mean? I know Damon Lindeloff is the biggest Green Lantern fan, and I do think I don't know if you're gonna bring it up later, but those comments.
We'll talk about that like right after this. So
I was gonna say, I knew he was joking in those comments real quick. I knew he was joking. I knew it was a bit, and people took that seriously. And I'm like, no, Damon Lindeloff it doesn't hate Green Lantern. There's like pictures of him in like fucking 1996 wearing Green Lantern shirts, eagerly going like, "Oh, Grant Morrison, can I get the sign?" You're like, I know he doesn't hate Green Lantern, but like that makes me even a little more frustrated because I'm like, dude, you should know at this point that like, just give me a Green Lantern show. Don't give me all this run around like it's wrapped in like a True Detective bow and like a fucking. I'm here for Green Lantern. If you're not gonna give me Green Lantern, I'm gonna be a little annoyed. You know what I mean? I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna be like, hey man, it took us 8 episodes to get the Lantern to show up and for them to say the oath. Why the fuck did it take me 8 episodes to see that? You know what I mean? I think the only time that has ever worked, ever, is Ultimate Spider-Man when you don't see Spider-Man for the first 8 issues. That's the only time waiting to do that has ever worked for me. Because every other time they do that, I'm sitting there going like, man, you said Green Lantern. I'm sitting here on episode 8, still no fucking Green Lantern. Where the fuck is he? You know? And I think that's why I'm done with pitches, because I feel like pitches are a very convoluted way to be like, well, we want to make this palatable for people who don't like superheroes anymore. So we have to bait and switch them by going, it's True Detective. Oh, sorry, you're actually watching a superhero show. And it's like, motherfucker, it's Green Lantern. He has a hokey saying, and he fucking charges his ring in a battery and then can create any green construct with his imagination. Why are we making this shit True Detective? This shit should be like fucking Space Cop. This shit should be Space Dandy. He should be out there doing like the hokiest 60s cop routine of like, there was a murder on Florpion X. And I think Lobo did it, but I gotta figure out the clues. And he's like, you know what I mean? Shit like that. I shouldn't be sitting here watching them in like fucking Wyoming stick around in fucking the desert. You know what I mean? I want to see aliens, man. He mentions the aliens, but I guarantee you we're not going to really see the aliens this season. It's going to be like an end of the season stinger where it's like, oh, there's Atrocitus, bye. You know, who knows when you're going to see these guys again?
And okay, so I'm going to say this real quick before we move on to the next topic, but I get your frustrations with it, right? Yeah. The fact that you want to be
real quick, Aaron Pierre and Kyle Chandler, great casting though. And I'm going to be so in for them as their characters, but I am going to be sitting there going, I wish these characters were in a Green Lantern show. You know? Yeah.
And the thing is, like with me, is that I get where people are coming from, where it's like, oh, where's all the Green Lantern shit? However, I don't. Okay, I and you saying that you're tired of like every superhero like TV show movie having a pitch. That I didn't think about, and I was like, okay, you know what? That actually is a good point. Yeah, it doesn't need to be another thing added on to a superhero project in order for it to like, in order to resonate with, casual fans. I get that. However, I like that this is a little different, but at the same time, I'm like, it's just a teaser, and I know they're hiding a bunch of stuff in here, and obviously like the VFX is probably still in the works because it's not coming out till August. So they're hiding a bunch of stuff. I think people who are just like, oh, where's the green? Where's the green? I'm like, we're gonna get green, guys. It's just let them cook for a little bit. Know what I mean? It's gonna happen.
I understand that, but like, it's not ridiculous for me to want to see Green Lantern in the trailer for a Green Lantern show. You know what I mean? Like, let him cook, dude. We've been letting DC cook for like 15 years, and they've been fucking blowing it up in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Even James Gunn Superman, as much as I love that movie, it's not really the slam dunk we all were kind of like expecting or hoping it would be. It was really good, but it wasn't like this is changing the landscape of superhero movies. It was more of like I guess this is the best version of this movie we're going to get nowadays. You know what I mean? And I think my issue is just that they're all, for some reason, scared to just do a one-to-one adaptation of the comics and just be like, let's make it look fucking insane. We have a budget behind us. We're owned by Warner Bros. We can throw money at this fucking thing and lose money, and no one's going to give a fuck because we have so much of it. Like, why not? Why not just go crazy and be like, yeah, Green Lantern. You know what Green Lantern looks like? He makes constructs with his mind. Like, you know what I mean? And I understand.
But I'll say this though, it's like I get it's like, yeah, like why don't we have them just be do the whole space cops thing? But at the same time, it's like it's they're doing this as a TV show. Warner Bros. Does not take risks like that where it's like they're gonna dump a bunch of fucking money into a television show. It's not they're not Disney. They're not doing that with it's not Disney with Disney Plus shows. Like they're not gonna give them a crazy budget to work with. So they're trying their best to use.
No disrespect, we got a Krypton TV show that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I understand where you're coming from, but like we got fucking a Krypton TV show that looked great, and it was on fucking Sci-Fi.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know what I mean? And you're looking at me, and people are looking at me dead in the eye, going like, I know you're trying to cope a little bit, and I understand where you're coming from. I don't judge you for it. I love you. I'm glad you see hope in the world and you're not cynical.
Yeah,
it feels like I'm being asked to eat shit so that way I can start eating my dessert. Yeah. And I'm like, hey guys, what if we all just skipped the eating shit part and just got straight to the dessert where we all wanted to eat? Why are we all being forced to go through this shit to appease some executives who are uncomfortable with a guy in a green suit saving the day?
Yeah, but that's the thing. That thing is like, I'm not invalidating you saying that like you shut up, you're asking for too much. No, I'm with y'all. I understand where y'all are coming from. I also want that shit too as a comic book fan. But I love Damon Lindelof in terms of what he's done. I mean, I think Watchmen is one of the best comic book shows ever. Like I trust him, but plus he's a fan, so I trust him enough to just see what he has to offer. And if I don't like it, I don't like it. But like
it's so funny that you literally just said what I was about to say, like word for word verbatim what I was about to say, where I was about to be like, Watchmen's great, I'm sure this will be great, I'm sure he'll do a great show. It's just my issue is with the entire framing of superhero stuff now, where it feels like they're stuck in it feels like they think that the 2000s era of superhero movies worked because it was popular. And they have to realize that it's not the 2000s anymore, and muting everything and making everything less fantastical is going to make people go, I don't want to see that. That just looks like a knockoff version of True Detective. I would just go watch True Detective. You know what I mean? Because what people want right now is they want experiences in movies and TV that are going to give them something fucking crazy. Someone who has an artistic vision that is fucking out there. You know what I mean? Because like the most popular movies that are out right now are all are shit like Sinners and One Battle After Another and fucking Dune. Those are the movies and franchises people are all in on because they're letting directors go crazy with their vision, and they're not going you know what I mean? And these directors are having such a crazy vision for their movies that you're like, wow, I'm experiencing something I've never experienced before. So that's why it kind of sucks that all superhero content is like locked in this bubble of like, no, it has to be something we've seen before to make the superhero part palatable. And it's like,
Yeah.
guys, you dominated the movie industry for 20 years. We all love superheroes still. You can just make a Green Lantern show and we'd all be like, fuck yeah, we love Green Lantern when he fucking says the oath and we all fucking get hyped. You know what I mean? The oath is so hokey, but every time he says it before he fucking punches out Sinestro, I'm fucking standing there doing this with him with the fucking ring, singing it. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
man.
I just wish we could get to that stuff earlier and quicker instead of this. And I trust Damon Lindelof to be good, but yeah, I just have an issue with the frame.
I get it, but I trust Damon Lindelof. And again, like from watching the trailer, I do like it. I've not seen. Well, I just got into True Detective actually, just because of this show. Like because I was like, I've never seen True Detective, and they kept describing that's what the tone they're looking for. What they're taking. So let me watch True Detective. I'm like, okay, if they're gonna make a show like that's like that, but with Hal and John investigating what's going on with some alien shit on Earth, I think that'd be something cool, something different, and I'm liking what Kyle Chandler's doing with his Hal Jordan, which is a bit different. You know, him being older, him being kind of a washed up mentor figure, and Jon Stewart is like the rookie he's training to take his place. But John is very, even though he's a tad arrogant, but he's very calculated in what he's doing, and calculated as well in terms of due to his background as an ex-Marine and an architect. So I'm that's one thing. I'm like, I'm digging it. Like I'm digging it. But again, like I know for a fact that like there's more to see here. They're purposely not showing us everything, which I'm fine with. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Really, it's like
yeah,
I dig the trailer. I really dig the trailer actually. But I'm gonna trust Damon Lindelof. I'm not even gonna watch any trailers after this. I'm just gonna go into the show when it comes out. But we'll just have to wait and see. But I know people were reacting like, oh, where's the green? And like, oh, the suit looks like shit. And it's just like, if you know where they're pulling from, like which is Green Lantern Earth 1 is like, I'm assuming is a big part of what the show is inspired by aesthetically. It's a different take on Green Lantern that people aren't used to. And as a huge fan of that book, I'm fine with what they're doing with it. That they're going that route with it. But yeah, we just gotta we just gotta wait and see. I
was gonna say because I think my issue with them drawing on Green Lantern Earth 1 is that Hal mentions that the core is a thing and he's met the core, so it's already not Green Lantern Earth 1 because Green Lantern Earth 1 the core doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I don't know how true this is. This is just me speculating. It feels more like they're using Green Lantern Earth 1 being an adaptation as a crutch to make everything more realistic, even if it's
okay.
No, it might not follow directly the story. Because I'm like, if you're following the story, then Hal should be the only Green Lantern. He should be the only. But like, they're obviously not, because he mentions the core and he mentions the fucking squirrel.
Yeah, I honestly thought they're using Earth 1 as an aesthetic choice, not as like an actual story choice.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm saying that kind of thing frustrates me because it's like, oh, you're not even going to adapt the cool parts of that story that rationalize why it's so grounded. You're just going to make it grounded and then be like, no, but it's still a Silver Age Green Lantern lore, and it's like, all right, well then this whole thing's confusing,
Mm-hmm. Real quick before we move on to the following topic that pertains to this. Because the show is called Lanterns, not like Green Lantern, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that we're gonna see other lanterns in this show other than Hal?
I think we're gonna see other lanterns in the show, and they're all gonna be human. And then at the end, they're gonna turn into aliens, and it's gonna be like, oh, they're all actually undercover. And I'm gonna be like, fucking cool, man. Thanks.
Cool,
I had to
man.
watch like 8 hours of some bald white dude act before you showed me he was Atrocitus. Like, thanks. I would have rather you just not had him in the show and just show me Atrocitus at the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm saying. Because they're all those human villains or whatever. And I'm like,
we don't
you
know
guys
what
are
about.
all going to be revealed to be like Saint Walker, and you're going to expect me to like fucking like bust in my jeans that like Saint Walker. I was actually watching Saint Walker in a show, but it's like, but I wasn't. I was watching a dude who then later you told me, oh, but it feels so like CW-ish. Like it's a dude that shows up, and then later they're like, oh, by the way, he was that guy. And you're like, or like early MCU, where like Cap fights Batroc the Leaper at the beginning of Winter Soldier, and then later they're like, "Oh yeah, that was Batroc the Leaper, by the way," and you're like, "What the fuck? That was just George St. Pierre in a T-shirt."
Oh, there's GSP doing GSP shit.
Yeah, you're like, that's GSP in a T-shirt, and you just told me that was like, and that's why I'm freaked out about this show. But I hope it's good. I love the casting. I will be watching for the casting, but I am a little like, ugh.
I love like their banter together, their dialogue together is so good. It's like, oh, he's like, oh, like you're just a fucking substitute teacher, Junior. I like that. Yes, like I love that, man.
I hope they make Hal like a right-wing dick too.
You really? You think so?
He's gotta be. He's gotta be. Like, Hal is always a right-wing asshole, but he's still like a. And that's what I think is so interesting about his character is that he's similar to U.S. Agent in that he's like a right-wing asshole whose heart is in the right place, but like he still holds some bigoted beliefs because that's just how he grew up. You know what I mean? And him becoming the Green Lantern and being friends with Green Arrow is what causes him to start breaking that stuff down and being like, oh, I'm kind of a dick, aren't I? You know what I mean? So I hope they keep that because I think that part of him is super interesting as a character.
I gotcha. Yeah, man.
I'd also love to see hard traveling heroes get adapted eventually sometime because that'd be awesome.
I would love that too. Also just real quick, I love the shot when he just flies. That's a cool shot.
That looked cool. Put some fucking green aura around him or something.
But the thing is, like, guy didn't have any green aura, so I was like,
I know that, I let that slide because I was getting a really good Superman movie, and I was like, a guy's not the main attraction. Let's move on. But like when the show's lanterns, I'm like, okay, now you're doing the lanterns. You're not doing the joke lantern.
My theory with it is because again, it's not like they don't have auras when they fly in the comics. They do that they do that shit all the time. Which is why everyone's like, oh, they always have them in the comics. No, they don't. Not all the time. Nope.
They don't. Not all the time. I just personally love it whenever they have.
Yeah, me too. I love it as well. My theory is that like when they're on Earth, they don't have the aura, but when they're in space, that's when they have.
If they do that, I will say that I will accept that. I'll be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, whatever makes it easier for you guys to film this shit. I don't care. As long as I get it at some point, and I need Hal in the green, white, and black. I need that shit. I need him in the fucking put Kyle Chandler in that and give him the gray temples, and then I'll be like, holy fucking shit. You know what I mean?
Does he not have gray temples? Does he not have gray temples already?
He's got his whole thing's like gray. His whole hair's gray. And I'm like, I kind of want to see him dye it brown and then leave the gray temples, and then I get, you know what I mean?
Okay, I got you. All right, so just the next topic, just to follow up with that is, the whole Damon Lindeloff, who's the showrunner and one of the writers on Lanterns, he got in a bit of drama with Grant Morrison actually, because what Seamus said earlier, he was on a podcast. I don't know the name of the podcast, but he made a joke talking about.
It was the
panel podcast.
It was the Happy Sad Confused podcast, and it was also an episode from like a year or two ago when it first got announced he was writing.
Really? I thought it was recent. Okay.
No, it was an episode from like a year or two ago that they pulled that quote from after the trailer dropped.
Yeah. So, and pretty much he just made a joke. He was. You can even tell he was joking. He wasn't really being serious.
You can tell he was joking because he literally is like, who likes the green and Green Lanterns? And he says it like sarcastically, and you're like, yeah, I get it. You're making a joke about how like no one likes Green Lantern. I get it. It's a bit. You know what I mean? Like he's doing the Ryan Reynolds bit. But for some reason, it was in the wake of them. It was in the wake of this trailer when people genuinely were like, "Where's the green shit?" Like me. But they took this out of context, and then someone telephoned it all the way over to Grant Morrison.
No.
The wrong quote.
They telephoned it.
Responded to it without like knowing the context of the quote.
Yeah, they telephoned it. They telephoned all the way to the astral plane where Grant Morrison was at. But yeah, so like what Seamus said, like even though this was taken out of context, it got into the astral plane where the being known as Grant Morrison felt like he had to come back to Earth and respond. And I will read it because I have the full quote from him right now. If you want to, I'm just gonna read it out loud real quick. But he said, TV writer-producer Damon Lindelof's comments notwithstanding, the green in Green Lanterns, green is not stupid. Why does a writer attach himself to the kind of narrative if he thinks it's fundamentally stupid? You don't hand CSI scripts to become patronizing writers who condemn forensic experts and their haircuts as stupid. So why hire people who are ashamed and denial about the comic book material they've been assigned to develop? Why don't they turn down jobs they're not suited for? It's not like he needs the money, and Lindeloff has proven that he can come up with his own ideas. What is this jockish dismissal of superhero conventions intended to prove anyway? Does Lindeloff imagine it makes him seem less nerdy? It's a bit too late for that. So what's it all about? The only people who give a fuck about the Lantern TV series are Green Lantern fans. Why alienate them at the start? That feels more like stupid. Green Lantern is a much more evocative and dramatic title than Lanterns, just as Raise the Red Lantern is a better movie title than Raise the Lantern. And anyone who can't grasp why that is shouldn't be anywhere near superhero stories. The show might even be good, but how much better could this stuff be if studios were willing to hire the right people for the job instead of phoning their embarrassed friends to water the source material down? Hollywood would die of insularity and inbreeding. And you're just like,
you know what's so
God
funny?
damn.
I agree with everything he said, and it
Yeah.
sucks that Grant Morrison was responding to a joke quote from a guy who totally didn't mean to say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the comic book version of the opera and ballet controversy that just happened. Like,
Dude.
This is the comic book version of that, where you're like, no, you're responding to a quote that was a joke. No, wait. You know? Like, because like everything Grant Morrison said is literally everything I was just saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, exactly. Why? What are we doing? But it sucks because Damon Lindelof is someone who does care about that stuff and is doing a bait and switch. So eventually we'll get that. And I think my issue, like I was saying, is just that I want Damon Lindelof to just do that at the start instead of doing that at any other time.
And just to go on to that, well, first off, the moment I saw when I heard about this beef and I read Grant Morrison's coming after Lindelof, I literally was just like, just fuck. I was like, damn, son. I was like, that's crazy. But I also agree with everything that he said. Even though I don't think it applies to Lindelof because Lindelof is generally a fan of the source material, we're just taking that out of context. But I overheard someone on a comic book influencer on social media talking about, he was comparing what Grant Morrison said has pretty much was applied to most of a good chunk of the 2000s era of comic book films where directors who don't really care about the source material try their best to make an adaptation that tries to either dilute the source material or disconnect itself from the comic book genre as a whole. And he mentioned like Bryan Singer, for example, literally did not want any of, which I didn't know this, did not want any of the X-Men cast at the time when he was making X-Men 1 to read any of the comics, and it had to be Kevin Feige to sneak in comics for the cast members, as well as give tips for hairstylists and makeup, especially for Wolverine when it comes to Hugh's hair. Like when they were doing his hair, they wanted to be bigger and bigger to match more of the comics, and also he snuck in comics as well for Hugh Jackman to read. So it's a very common thing in terms of adaptations, the past, especially the first, 10, 15 years of, the 2000s, but he's 100% right, 100% valid, but I don't think, I think they just took it out of context.
Grant Morrison's right, but sadly it's like friendly fire where you're like, no, wait, that's actually one of the dudes who no, wait, Grant Morrison, watch the Watchmen TV show. You'll see, I promise. And that's why it's even more crazy for me, because I'm like, dude, I saw the Watchmen show. You were drawing from that comic book immediately. Why can't you do this here?
I've said this, and I've said this multiple times about the HBO Watchmen show, because I watched it a few months ago, and I'm probably gonna rewatch it again sometime this year. But that show, I think, is the spiritual successor to the comic book, not the movie, to the comic book. Due to how accurate it is to the source material, how it does a good job of placing for updating the source material and kind of enhancing it a little bit more. We saw Jeremy Irons in Ozymandias' actual costume from the comic. How more accurate is that?
I was gonna say it's so funny because the two things that I would point to as the closest to getting the Watchmen, they're not quite on Watchmen's level, but they're the closest to it, would be the Watchmen show by Damon Lindeloff and then Grant Morrison's Pax Americana would be the two that I would pick. And it's so funny that these two are fighting on accident.
Yeah, right?
The internet sucks so hard.
I always tell myself when it comes to the just as a tangent to the HBO Watchmen show, I feel like Grant Alan Moore has watched it and knows how good it is and probably loves how much he respects the material, but he's too arrogant to admit it that he's even watched it.
I don't think he's too arrogant. I think Alan Moore's probably seen it and he's probably been like, "Oh, cool. I probably like this way more if DC was like it was not involved in it and it was me involved in it." Because if DC fucked with my book that much, but then led to something that was that good, I would be like, "Damn, this sucks. I hate this."
Yeah,
that the situations like this, because I really wish that it would have been me on that instead of like DC like fucking doing that. You know what I mean? Because Alan Moore doesn't hate comic books. He doesn't hate comic readers. He's just very frustrated at how the industry is, and he just takes that anger out a lot. And you're like, yeah, no, a lot of the stuff you say is true, because reading what you've been through before, Alan, like, I get it. I would be pissed at everyone too. That sucks, you know? So like, I think he just he doesn't appreciate the circumstances by which the Watchmen show were made, which is valid.
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
him and Grant Morrison beef too, which is so funny because they're both very similar, and they both are like, and you're like, you guys are all funny people, but Lanterns is just a weird enigma, which is it's funny too because Alan Moore and Grant Morrison have written Green Lantern. This is all just one big circle of these guys like yelling at each other over Green Lantern.
Yeah, and the thing is, I have Damon Lindelof's post because I have the image up on the screen, but you can't see it. But I won't even read it. But it was a pretty heartfelt, pretty Green Lantern fan-y post about how he feels bad that he kind of disrespected one of his his heroes in terms of as a comic book fan, and how he didn't mean for what he said to come out the way it did, but he just pretty much apologized to Grant Morrison, showed how much he respect him, and pretty much gives a little bit of confidence until the fact that he is a fan of the source material, he loves comic books, and it kind of puts in good faith that he's going to try to do the best show he can make, which which I was happy to see this, which is why I was like, immediately when we were talking about this, I was like, I trust David Lindelof. I'm gonna let him do his thing, and if I don't like it, I don't like it. And if I do, I do.
By the end, it will probably look very comic accurate, but but because it was the same thing with Watchmen, where at the start it was very different, and then by the end it was just like a straight Watchmen sequel.
Yeah,
like wow, and that's okay for Watchmen, given that it was completely different from Watchmen. But this is an adaptation of Green Lantern, so I'm gonna be sitting there the whole time going like, damn, why did I watch those 8 episodes of nothing happening when at the end of it they finally got to the Green Lantern stuff I was really excited for? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. But so we got to move on to the next topic. But yeah, very interesting to see. But that's pretty much a wrap on the Lantern stuff. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the show, and we'll see what happens when we see it. But I again trust Damon Lindelof, and I hope Grant Morrison sees this, realize that he that what was said was out of context, taken out of context, and he sees this post and responds, in good faith. Hopefully, I hopefully that happens. So the next topic, kind of a small topic, we'll just briefly go into it. But for people that don't know, the trailer for Dune Part 3 came out yesterday, and we're not gonna react to it, of course. But Seamus, it was funny when the trailer came out. You texted me pretty early in the morning while I was at work about the trailer, and you were like, "Yo, did you notice what was on the credits?" And I was like, "Nah, I didn't." And at the end, and I was like, "Oh, watch it again and look at who's writing it in the credits and the trailers." Okay, fine. And to my utter shock, because my jaw literally dropped when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god!" But the fact that this movie's being directed by the pretty much the legend at this point, Denis Villeneuve, who's directed the previous 2 films, and is co-writing the script as well. But what Seamus wanted me to look at was who was writing the script with him, and it is none other than our boy, our guy, Brian K. Vaughan. Brian K. Vaughan of Lost fame, Runaways fame, Saga fame, Why the Last Man, which we're gonna get back into, I promise. Ex Machina, Spectators, which is a new book that dropped, which I have to read as well. Yeah, we're big Brian K. Vaughan fans up here. He's literally like he's on my top 5 favorite writers of all time ever. I'll read anything this man writes. But the fact that he brought back Saga, a few years ago. It's been on break for the past like year or so, year or two, and we always wondered why. And the fact that he was on break because he was co-writing one of the most anticipated movies of this year is crazy. And the moment Seamus, I rewatched the trailer again and then saw the credation, I was like, combining the genius of Denis Villeneuve and the genius of Brian K. Vaughan, you might as well just fucking throw the Best Picture Oscar at them. That's why I was like, with the predictions you said earlier, I was like, Dune Part 3, because it's gonna be extremely well written. Because they got Brian K. Vaughan like co-writing the script with him, which is nuts. So yeah, Seamus, go off, bro. What do you think of this? This kind of like, I guess, like pseudo announcement.
It's so good. It's so good, especially given that his previous work is writing extremely flawed white dudes.
Yeah.
This is the extremely flawed white dude film, because Dune Messiah as a book was written as a response to Dune, because Frank Herbert saw everyone responding to Dune and went, no, Paul is not good at all, guys. Like, and I think that this is going to be this is the movie that basically tell like the first, like, Dune is like all like, we'll let you draw your own conclusions, and then Frank Herbert saw everyone drawing the wrong conclusions and went, no, now I'm going to tell you what the conclusions you should have drawn were. So that's why I think Brian K. Vaughan's very good for this, because I think that he is a writer that wears his heart on his sleeve, and he is not not that he can't do subtext, but a lot of his stuff is very overt, and I think that that's perfect for this movie, because this movie is a very overt film. It's something that is way more in your face than the first two Dune movies were, about where they stand with Paul, what his the effects of his actions are, how he treats everyone else on Earth. You know what I mean? Or on Arrakis and in House Atreides. You know what I mean? Shit like that. And I think that's why Brian K. Vaughan does that, because he does that in a way that doesn't make it feel like he's spoon feeding you the information. It just makes it feel way more natural. So I'm super excited that he co-wrote this. It's going to be fucking incredible, I think.
Yeah, man. I mean, you already took all the words out of my mouth. I am really looking forward to this. I was really looking forward to doing Part 3, because I love... I the first one I thought was good, but I love Dune Part 2 a lot. I think it's a fantastic film. The fact that this is gonna be the fall with him, co-penning the script and knowing, again, what you said, like how he knows how to. He's a master at writing flawed characters, layered characters, and also the fact that especially when it comes to books like Saga, where you have two lovers from different worlds, trying to interact in a new adventure, a new struggle, a new environment, a new setting. That's going to be a really interesting take. That's going to be really interesting to add when it comes to the relationship of Chani and Paul, and how Paul's decisions are going to like impact their future, especially knowing Children of Dune, how that pretty much focuses on like Paul's and the House of Atreides legacy. But yeah, man, I'm really excited, and just like just very, and the trailer looked fantastic. Like it looked like a really good trailer, and had a lot of stuff going on in it, especially with this war that's brewing between what's going on with on Arrakis and the Fremen and the House of Atreides, and now Robert Pattinson's characters coming in and all that. I thought that was really good. So we'll see, bro. It just gets me more excited. It just gets me more excited, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
But
coming out the same day as Doomsday.
Yeah, which is why we're calling it Doomsday. Doomsday, which is a great combo name. But
I do like Barbenheimer a little more.
I know, yeah. Barbenheimer just works.
It's a better name. It's funnier to me.
Yeah, it just worked. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say. Congrats to Brian K. Vaughan, and we love you. I mean, you know, we are ride or die fans, so we will support anything you do at this point.
Wow.
So yeah, man, just congrats on that.
Dune 3, even if it's bad.
Yeah,
Because Brian K. Vaughan wrote it.
Brian K. Vaughan wrote
We
it.
will ride for you, Brian K. Vaughan. We will lie on a
Yeah.
podcast for you, Brian K. Vaughan.
Yeah, no, honestly, like, you know, like live by the sword, die by the sword. When it comes to Brian K. Vaughan, like, I don't care.
Live by why the last man, die by why the last man.
Yeah, all right, so we'll just move on to the next topic. So next topic we're going to talk about, we're going to be doing a review, comic book review, because, you know, the past couple weeks, a particular book came out under Discrimination Comics, aka DC, that, you know, had a little bit of that had plenty of hype, but also plenty of controversy behind it. We'll talk about, but it was none other than the book New History of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident, which is written by a lot of people. So it's written by Joe Illidge, Stephanie Williams, Nicholas Draper Ivy, and the other guys. I know it's Morgan something. I'm like the last name is escaping me, but I will look it up right now because it's just real quick. Yeah, Morgan Hampton. There we go. And you have, you know, artwork from, like, you know, Edwin Gallman, Valentine Deledra, who does, you know, Bitch Planet, and, you know, a bunch of other artists. But yeah, man, this book is all rip. I don't know if you have your copies. I got my copies. Get the light going. I got my copies right here. I pre-ordered. Got the original cover over here, and then got, you know, the one of the variants over here. Great book. I was rereading it before we started, and I was loving it. But just before we talk about, you know, what the controversy that happened with this book, what do you think of the book overall, Seamus?
I thought it was pretty solid. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I just thought it's I don't know. It just seems like a solid book, and it seems weird the way DC treated it, because it just seems like your standard, you know what I mean, history of the DC universe book. So that's why I was like, oh, weird that DC's trying to, like, because it almost feels like by hamstringing it in the way that they did, it kind of made it a bigger book than maybe it would have been. Because I saw more people talk about it because of the way, which maybe that was like DC's plan, was that they were worried this book was not going to get talked about as much, so they secretly fucked with it as a reverse psychology way to get people to talk about it more. Who knows what they're thinking? It was very weird the way that this happened with the whole leaks and everything and all that shit. In the end, I thought it was like a very solid book. I don't understand what DC's doing with the Milestone characters, or why they just don't have at least one Milestone book running at all times. Like, it's like you can't tell me that Static Shock's not selling issues. It's Static.
Yeah.
Like,
Static.
That's Static. Everyone fucking loves Static. He's literally as popular as Miles, but DC refuses to capitalize off of him.
Yeah, he literally. Once you put Static on a book, it's literally an excuse to print money, and they know it. And they know.
Yeah, and it just seems very weird that it's like, okay, even if fucking Hardware's not working, even if Icon and Rocket aren't working, you can't tell me that a Static book isn't working, because Static's fucking, like, what are you know? So, like, it was good. It just makes me more sad that the state of Milestone right now is so fucking weird, and it always has been weird, because it shouldn't be this weird to sell a Static book. But then again, I feel like I'm saying that a lot with the big two recently. Is just like, it shouldn't be this hard to get books made. Like, I don't know why they're making it way harder than it needs to be. But yeah, great issue. I liked it a lot. It was fun. It should have been like a in between Milestone season 1 and 2. You know what I mean? Thing that you go, oh, this is cool. Look, they're incorporating them. But instead, it's become this like gross, bloated monument to DC hating black people and black characters. So instead, you're kind of like, this is a little sad.
Well, first off, I want to just say real quick, shout out to Mark Waid, because I remember this. I was watching an interview with Joe Illidge and the creative team behind this book talk about the fact that this is supposed to be like a separate one shot, but then Mark Waid, because he was doing DC Universe and thought it'd be cool to incorporate the Milestone characters in the new in this reestablishment of the continuity, that he decided to bring these characters along and have this be a part of his new DC History DC Universe line. So shout out to him, of course, Mark Waid, the GOAT. But I'll say a hot take, me personally. I prefer the Dakotaverse to be separate from DC canon. I like it being its own thing, and its own universe to work with. But
my issue with that,
what?
my only issue with that is if it was separate, sadly, there wouldn't be a lot of people touching it, and DC would not be. You know what I mean? If it's a part of the DC universe, those characters at least have a chance to be used in other books and get more exposure. Whereas if it's its own separate universe, DC would be like, cool, it's its own separate universe. Let's shut that door and never open it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh.
Which is what I felt happened.
Yeah, exactly. Which is like, if they're intrinsically tied to the DC universe, then there's no forgetting them. Then they're there forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which again, I understand, I get that, but I like the fact that, like, you know, Icon is the Superman of the Dakotaverse. I kind of like that vibe, you know, or like, you know,
yeah, no, it definitely would hurt.
That against the Spider-Man,
but like overall, I think it would help if they were just like incorporated, so that way Static could be on the Titans, and then you go, oh fuck yeah, look, we got Static on the Titans with like fucking like John Kent and like Damian. You know what I mean? Oh, that sounds sick as fuck. I'd read that.
Yeah, but yeah, which I get, but like, you know, me personally, I prefer them separate. Which is why I love Milestone Returns so much, and I thought Milestone Returns did some great stories because it was separate from DC canon. But again, integrating them into DC universe, that's fine. Like, you know, it's whatever. I do like them interacting with other DC characters, of course. But there's that. But yeah, when I read the issue, I thought the issue was pretty good, especially with a lot of some of the things they mentioned because because the story really focuses on, like, the main character of the comic is Beacon, who showed up in the Static Batman Beyond book that's happening right now. I think it's about to end soon. But Beacon, Amistad, who is Rocket's son, and you know, he pretty much gets, you know, first off, fight Shiv in the beginning, which is crazy. Shiv from the animated series, we know, like, that's dope. But him getting, like, you know, stuck in a time stream, and I'm watching this new continuity of the Milestone universe integrated into the DC universe, portray like happen within in like a first person point of view, and I thought that was really good. And just seeing, you know, how he interprets the DC universe, especially when he talks about how, you know, the significance of the core four characters, where, you know, I thought it was, I'm trying to like flip through the page real quick just to see, because there was one thing he said that was so amazing to me, where he was like Hardware, like, and he goes through all the origins, and all the origins are pretty much the same. They actually go back to the original Big Bang from the original Big Bang from the Milestone, the OG Milestone universe in the 90s, because I low-key loved the new Big Bang that they did, where it was a BLM protest. Well, in this one it's gang violence. As a gang war, which it was nice to go back to the classic, but, you know, I kind of wish they kept the protest though, just to keep, you know, updated. But at the same time, knowing where this takes place in DC canon, especially when we get to the Suicide Squad, takes place in like the 80s, 90s. So yeah, it would make sense why they would go back to just gang violence.
I was gonna say, and I think it's important purely because the original gang violence origin was specifically drawing attention to that time. The Philadelphia PD bombed that entire city block just to get those gang members in one house. And I think if it wasn't specifically drawing from a historical event, I would feel the same way and be like, yeah, it should be updated. But since it's specifically drawing to a historical event, it would basically be like changing the Black Wall Street Massacre of the Watchmen show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To a different thing. And you'd be like, well, it's kind of intrinsically calling attention to that specific moment in history. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, I get it's more of a personal preference, and I think it's just my personal preference is it's cooler when it's calling specific attention to a moment in history that they feel like we shouldn't forget.
For sure. And also what you said, Dwayne and Dennis did mention that, like, the Big Bang was inspired by the Philadelphia street bombing, as well as the Bed-Stuy riots in the 90s. And the thing is, like, the Amistad is just Beacon. Amistad is just going through this universe and its new continuity in first person. And I love how he acknowledges the differences from what he remembers to what's being changed, and how. But I think I'm acknowledging the importance of the core 4 Milestone characters being Hardware, Static, Icon, and Rocket. Where I have it here, it says Hardware is the Crusader, Icon and Rocket were the symbols, and Static was the spark. And literally it's a really nice kind of like, you know, motif to be like who these characters are to the Milestone world, and the fact that, you know, throughout the course of story, like it's interesting where it's like the Milestone when it comes to Dakota City and how Dakota City is perceived, how Dakota City perceives themselves and how Dakota is perceived in the outside world. Dakota is kind of perceived as like an other, and they're kind of like secular, like they're kind of insular to themselves, where it's like all the DC superheroes, like all the big superheroes like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, like, you know, the Justice League, they don't pass by Dakota City. So the fact that the heroes started emerging for them kind of felt like that these were their own heroes that they could look up to, that they could count on them to protect them, not the greater DC universe as a whole. And that's how, you know, and that's how these heroes feel when it comes to protecting the city of Dakota, especially when other people like Lex and the Suicide Squad and the Justice League intervene. You know, like it's like, these are our people, this is our town, you have no business here, we don't care your jurisdiction, all that stuff. I thought that was great. But also how they kind of have to conform to the system in order to retire, pretty much under Lex's guidelines as president. I thought that was fantastic too. Like the deal they make, Jesus Christ. Yeah, man. But this book has some great moments, and I mentioned, like, you know, the Suicide Squad gets involved. And it's like John Osterman. It's like John Ostrander's Suicide Squad back in the debut, like that team. When they fought the Blood Syndicate, bro, I thought that was amazing. I was like, this is awesome. Having Bronze Tiger fight Wise Son, I was like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. That's amazing. And then the Justice League getting involved, and then the deal, and also Icon fighting Captain Atom, amazing. Like that was one of my favorite moments of the whole book. But yeah, like, you know, them making the deal with Lex, and Lex, you know, using, you know, his connections and his information he gets to be on everyone, including, especially when Virgil, who is the most reluctant to make this deal, because Virgil again is the spark of the Milestone universe, of the Dakota City. He's the thing that ties everybody together. The fact that Lex was able to break him by exposing that he knows exactly who he is, where he works, where he goes to school, and where he lives, and giving Static that fear was like, yeah, this man isn't to be trifled with. I thought that was amazing. It forces them all to retire. And then when Beacon Beacon gets jumped to, I believe when Virgil was in leaving college, like he's like 19, 20, and asks him, like, listen, like, and it reminds Virgil why he is the spark of the Milestone universe, of the Dakotaverse, because he's the inspiration for everyone. Because he was in this canon, which is true in the comic. Well, it's true in this DC canon. In the original Milestone canon, Hardware was the first, but Static is the first character to become a superhero right after the Big Bang, and inspired all these other heroes, and inspired Rocket to become a superhero, along with Icon. So the fact that Beacon, talking to a college-age Virgil, reminding him, dude, you're the spark, you're the reason why my mom and Icon are heroes, why Hardware, becoming a vigilante, ended up becoming a force for good instead of a force for revenge. And, you know, you inspired all of us to do better. Like, you can't just quit. Like we can't be in a world without Static in it, right? And it's kind of meta, because everyone knows how important, like you said, Static is an important character, is a popular character. Like, we grew up on Static Shock. Like that was, you know, that's how our generation was exposed to this character. And Static is an excuse to print money. And so it's kind of I guess I feel like Joe Illidge and them kind of intention. This is actually not just Joe Illidge, but Nick, because Nicholas Draper Ivory wrote the last part with Static, with Ed Galman's amazing art, bro. But I felt that, you know, and Nick kind of said this, where like he was addressing all his frustrations that DC was that on DC about what they're doing to Milestone, and the fact that, like, he wanted to show them how valuable these characters are, especially Static, and how integral Static is to fans and to the DC universe as a whole. And I thought that was great, and it causes that kind of that dialogue from Amistad when he gets blipped back to the time machine causes Static to come back and and strike again in anger, which I thought was great because you get to see like some rain and stuff in the background. And that's why I got these pages up. Like I thought that was an amazing moment for me. That was the best moment of the comic was that ending. And yeah, man, I thought it was good stuff. And also shout out to the artists. Again, like my favorite personally was Valentine DeLedger because he was literally, and I knew exactly what they were doing because of the way his style is very similar to this artist, but he was pretty much paying homage to the late great John Paul Leon, who was pinnacle to Milestone when they started. He did the Static series, but this specific evolution of his style that he's homaging is specifically tied to Static Rebirth of the Cool that came out in 2010. Where it was Dwayne McDuffie trying to attempt to bring the Milestone characters back, and they wanted to use like this style of John Paul Leon's work to be the kind of like signature style of the new Milestone that they were trying to create. But unfortunately, Dwayne passed away, God rest his soul, and that came to a halt. But the fact that they kind of wanted to bring that style back in order to homage to that era of like that Milestone rebirth being applied to this Milestone rebirth, I thought was fantastic. I loved it so much. Like, look at this, bro. You literally see like the Blood Syndicate looking fresh. You get like a little nod to like Destruct, like over there, bro. Like in the third panel, bro. I loved it, bro. I thought it was hard. But yeah, man, this issue was fantastic. I could talk more. I'll go on about this issue, but yeah, let's talk about kind of the controversy and the issues. But again, like what Shaman said, they kind of set this book up to fail on purpose because Discrimination Comics doesn't really see that much value in these characters for some reason. Because again, when Milestone Returns came out, it was popular. I thought it was a success. But then after Static Shadows of Dakota, which we talked about that book a lot and how much we love that series, that mini series, it just kind of slowly faded away, and we kept waiting a couple years to see when the next Milestone book was coming back, and they just didn't. I think Duel, like the last one we got was the Joe Illidge Shadow Cabinet book that came out last year, and they shadow dropped that pretty much. They barely marketed it, and the fact that this book was coming out, and they leaked the book on DC Infinite, and I think intentionally to devalue the book as much as possible, so that because I remember Joe Illidge just wants them to do a Static ongoing series. But knowing DC, they always give black characters either miniseries or limited or just one shots. And he wanted to do a pitch. They said no, and they pretty much they leaked the book. So the fact that they can devalue these characters, so they can just allow any artist or writer that wants to get attached to that wants to do a book with these characters to pay them lower wages because the character isn't as marketable as the other ones, or at as higher profile as a Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman book. And also just because they just don't really respect these characters at all or think they're as valuable. Static is a huge excuse to print money. And allegedly from Ernie, shout out to Ernie Blur Without Fear, but he even said that like he learned from sources that like DC wants to do something with Static, but like all their ideas suck. So yeah, I mean, but Joe Illidge decided to make a campaign where he said, let's try to get the book to 100K issues, so that we can prove to DC that these characters are valuable, these characters are popular, and that we can give Static an ongoing series. And luckily, people showed out, and this book sold really well. It's getting a second printing that's coming out. But at the same time, like Ernie and like shout out to like guys like Jay Penumbra and I believe I think like Diesel and like Captain Diesel's Dojo. And other creators, Fantastic Frankie mentioned this as well, that like even though people showed up for this, they might not show up for like other black characters that will come up with their own books. Like the fact that like they wanted these sales to prove that not only Milestone characters can sell well and that they matter, but also other black characters that DC has in the disposal are worth an ongoing series, instead of just like a limited or mini series, which is why they started the campaign #DC So White. because Davis, you want to guess how many days it's been since a black character has had an ongoing series in main continuity?
I was gonna say ongoing.
Yeah.
It would probably be coming up on. I want to say, is this also a Black Solo series?
Yeah.
Or Black Led? Okay, Black Solo. I want to say like 5 years.
Yeah. All right. You're pretty much relatively close. I mean, you're a tad off, but it's been well because DC So White, #DC White has a website that they made to track, support of to document the movement. But it's been 1,129 days since DC had published an ongoing comic book for a black character in mainline continuity, and the last one that was published was I Am Batman number 18. That was on February 14, 2023. So the Jace Fox Batman book.
That's 2 years. I thought DC was more racist actually.
Yeah, right. DC was more racist than that. But I was
thinking, wasn't there that I'm trying to think. What was the one I was thinking of? Wait, I want to look it up. Yeah, no, it does not surprise me. Here's also the thing. I don't understand. I don't think they need to prove that black characters can sell because Mr. Terrific was the most popular character in Superman, and I don't understand why they didn't immediately greenlight a new Mr. Terrific ongoing right after that, after they saw that, because that seems like just kind of like a no-brainer to be like, oh, or even if you didn't want to do a new Mr. Terrific ongoing, you could have certainly added a black character to the Absolute line and just been like, hey, you know what I mean? Here you go.
But here's the thing, Seamus. Why can't we complain? They gave us a Mr. Terrific Year 1 miniseries.
Oh yeah. Everyone wants to yet again read the origin of his fucking family dying.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I wanted. Yeah. We'll give you your black-led book, Mikey, but he has to be in pain constantly. He can't be happy, Mikey. He's black. Nope. Yeah, he's got to be depressed and hurt. It can't be any kind of he can't find happiness. It's ridiculous. It's just like, and it's so funny too because not only was Mr. Terrific popular, but he's popular with people who are not comic readers, but he's also popular with comic readers because everyone loved the Terrifics. Everyone loves that run. And it's like, I don't understand why they didn't even at least greenlight a new Terrifics run with a new team or something. You know what I mean? I don't understand. I just don't understand. I feel like Marvel is taking 800 steps backward, but DC's arguably more frustrating because they're taking 10 steps forward and then 5 steps back, and you're like, I love the Absolute line, but god damn, you guys really don't like any black-led books. God damn, you really don't give a fuck about any of them, and half of them make a lot of fucking money because people know who they are. People know who Mr. Terrific and Black Lightning and Vixen and Static and you know what I mean, and they even know who Jace Fox is. People know who Jace Fox is. People know who Signal is. It's not crazy to do a book with these people. I don't understand. People, you know what? I guarantee you, right up with Static, right below him in terms of popularity with our generation is fucking Cyborg.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's fucking stuck in the shitty Teen Titans book that keeps repeating the same 8 storylines of where he's like, am I really human or man? The
last time Cyborg even had a solo book was his miniseries that I think Morgan Hampton wrote. So
and it's like guys, how about we just let an ongoing run for more than 8 issues and we see how it goes? And if it still doesn't sell well, what if we just left it going and saw what happened? Maybe eventually people go, holy shit, this is a narrative that's actually running long term. I'm interested in that, you know?
Ernie also makes a good point as well, where it's for Joshua Williamson's Green Arrow went on for 2 years and even though I'm a huge Green Arrow fan, I wasn't really reading it, and I feel like it wasn't that as popular as a book, but they still let it go on because it's a Green Arrow book, you know?
And
So-
here's also the thing: that's partially what made it popular. Literally, the reason it made it popular was because people saw that Green Arrow book go 30 issues, and they went, "Damn, going 30 issues, they must be doing some long-term storytelling that a lot of people like." And it literally caused people to check out the book more because it was going past what they thought it was going to go. And it's like, maybe let's. How about once a year we start a new ongoing where we just let a character have a couple issues and we just let it keep going for like 2 years. You know what I mean? We get 24 issues, and if it doesn't sell, guess what? We have a 24 issue run of a character we can draw from if they show up in a mini again or something. You know what I mean? Because some of these characters do kind of need refreshers because no one's used them because DC hasn't allowed people to use them long term in actual ongoings. You know what I mean? They've just been getting minis every 5 years, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
It's weird.
It's
So
annoying,
weird.
bro. It's so annoying. It's so frustrating, and like that's the thing. It's like DC has such a great rogues gallery. Like, you know, they've got a great gallery of black, and not just black, but like just POC characters. Like, I know Stephanie Williams are trying to get them to do a Vixen series for a Vixen series, and the fact that like DC Next Level, they announced all these really dope books that I really want to check out, but there's no black characters at all. And even this book got so much heat and so much press that like even when people went at Scott Snyder and asked him, "Yo, where are all the black characters at?" and he says the black characters coming in DC Next Level, but like I'll believe it when I see it. That's what we said off camera before we started.
I believe they are coming in. What I also believe is that they are coming because of the response to Next Level.
Yeah.
I believe that they're coming, but I also believe that they weren't a part of the original plan for Next Level, and Scott saw the demand, which, to be fair, very smart way to run your business is look at what the people are saying and immediately changing course. But also, is it really that ridiculous to think that they should have been there in the first place? At least one black person. And I know you can look, all right, and like, let's be real. Firestorm's a mixed man. When he fuses with the white dude, that's not a black-led book, okay? That's a mixed guy.
Lord.
You know,
he
doesn't care. Like, but yeah, that's like.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
It's I'm right. You guys, everyone knows I'm right. But yeah,
and I thought that when the Firestorm book was announced, I was excited to check it out because I thought it was gonna be Jason Rush, not Ronnie Raymond.
Oh, and it's fucking Ronnie Raymond, and it's not even the one everyone likes.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's weird. It's so weird because at least you know, you say what you want about how fucking idiotic Marvel's been. At least they know, hey, if we let a Miles series run, it prints money.
Yeah.
Hey, if we just do a series of 12-issue Blade runs every year, everyone fucking buys that.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed? And then we get to sell 2 trades for that run, and then we go to a new run. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like these characters sell. Like they just do. You just do, and they don't market these books at all. Like you don't see any marketing on YouTube, social media for any of these books. It's ridiculous. And here's the thing, right? Like just to close it off, so we move on to the next topic. Well, first off, I want to just say respect and props to Joe Illidge, Stephanie Williams, Nicholas Draper Ivy, and Morgan Hampton. You know, let's talk about Clues Bomb for him. Thank you so much just for doing this one shot, trying to, you know, show up to DC to show how valuable these characters are, because the Dakota universe means so much to me. I love these characters to death. Me and Seamus always talk about these characters all the time, and the fact that you wanted to, you know, put your ankle into this book to showcase how valuable not just Milestone universe is, but just black characters are in general to DC was just great. So thank you so much, and I want to get somebody on the pod. Joe Illidge, please respond to my DM, please. I appreciate it. What's it called? Discrimination Comics. Well, fuck yourselves. Like fuck you. Like you were already on my shit list. You were already on you did not get nominated for our best publisher of the year last year because of the bullshit you were doing with Gretchen Felker Martin and some other stuff. But this is just y'all not helping. And it sucks because y'all are pulling out some great books. Like some great books. It's so frustrating. Like what you said, 2 steps, 5 steps forward, 5 steps back. It pisses me off. I know for the fact, like, you know, Ernie, like all these characters like Ernie, Joe, Jay Penumbra, Captain Diesel's Dojo, a bunch of other creators, Fantastic Frankie, all that stuff. They're with DC with hashtag DC So White. They're not. They like Ernie put all the DC books out of his pull list. Like, he's not buying any of them. And he's supporting like Black indie creators, which I also recommend you also support as well. If the big two are providing stories with people of color in them, there are plenty of independent publishers and self-published creators that are making their own stories and telling great ones. So I might leave a link, or I might make a list, make a post something just to promote those. But like Ernie's not buying any of them. Like he said, I'm even the Absolute stuff, and he said like it hurts him. He said it hurts him the most because he loves Absolute Wonder Woman, he has strong integrity. He sticks by his principles, so he's even took that off his pull list. But yeah, people, that's pretty much it, man. I love this book. Fuck discrimination comics. They gotta step it up because this is some nonsense. And hopefully, Scott, man, we love you. We love your work, bro. We love you as a creator. You better hold up to your word, because if not, you're on my shit list. I'm not gonna like it. You don't want to be on my shit list, bro. Seamus, what are your closing thoughts on this? We move on to the next topic.
Get threats to Scott Snyder on him.
I am, bro. I'm gonna like you said that there are gonna be some black characters coming in the next level. There better be. Like
what if they made Etrigan black?
No.
What if they made Etrigan black and he's now a rapper?
No. They did that at DC. They did that back in the day.
Guys, that's our black character. We made Etrigan black and his rhymes are now all raps. Aren't we all hip with the youth, Mikey? I kind of want to see that happen now, just to see the shit show that would follow that.
Oh my god.
Dude, DC would get beaten in the streets. The editorial team would get fucking hit.
Yeah, they're gonna get mollywopped. It's gonna be fucking.
No, yeah, I like, as a white dude, I want to see more black-led books, just because I like, not even for like because I can't relate to having more black people being shown. You know what I mean? Because I'm a white dude. I see myself all the fucking time. I'm the fucking like, I'm like the base level create an NPC guy. You know what I mean? Like every time you hit create a new character, it's just me as the preset. So I don't worry about that. But even as that doesn't mean that I should be the only one getting books, though, because like, not only should we be showing people that, hey, there's a wide array of superheroes that are all fucking great, but also me as a white dude, I love those characters just on the basis that they're fucking great characters. I love Steel. I love Mr. Terrific. I love Black Lightning. I love Vixen. I love Static. Icon and Rocket. Hardware. Fucking all these guys are incredible, and if they're utilized correctly, can be fucking up there with the Flash and shit. You know what I mean? As incredible characters. And I think it's just ridiculous that DC is sitting on their asses, not doing anything about it, because God knows why. If you want to know my personal take on it, I think they're scared that if they have a black-led book, they're scared it's going to get political. I think they're scared of being too political, because they can let the Absolute books be political all they want, but they don't actually want to get political because of who they're owned by. And they don't want to rock any waves and then make David Zaslav's Eye of Sauron go down on them, and then they're fucking dissolved as a company. You know what I mean? And it's why Gretchen Felker Martin got shafted so quickly, because she got political and then was instantly cut. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you read all these mainline DC books, and not a single one of them even try to remotely talk about anything thematically that's happening currently. The Absolute books are allowed to, because they're separate. Books,
like that. We read the Batman annual.
That's what I'm saying. And they're also written by Scott Snyder, who's like on the editorial team. You know what I mean? So he can be like, all right, yeah, we can do whatever we want over here. But those mainline books, and I think that's the issue, is it's like, if they just for some reason don't want to get political. And it's so funny, because as much as I bitch about Marvel's like, yeah, Dennis Camp, go ahead, talk about how we should assassinate the president. Go ahead, I don't care. Yeah, you know what I mean? Talk about how we should have an uprising and America should fall.
They're literally the reverse. They're way more political on on their side on Marvel.
That's what I'm saying, and I think that
Marvel has his own fair share of problems too.
that's the crux of it. Is DC's just scared. DC for some reason views black representation as political, which it's not. It's literally just seeing people of different walks of life be represented. That's not political at all. That's just getting a different story than what you're used to, a different lived experience. Like
say
it's
that,
like it's a no-brainer.
Say that again. Say that again one more time for the class. I'll put it full screen.
Black representation is not political. It's just a black person existing. That's not political. If you show a black person in a comic, that's just a black person existing. It's not a political statement, okay? Mr. Terrific being a superhero, he's just a black dude who wants to be a superhero and help people out because he's the smartest man on earth, okay? It's not like he's like thinking of like, how do I enact the white replacement theory? How do I kill all white people? It's literally just a dude who lost his family, who doesn't want to see that happen to other people. It's like Batman, but just a black dude who's really smart. That's not political. None of this is like just showing a black person in a comic or selling a black comic is not political. Hell, the fucking Miles Morales comic 90% of the time isn't political. It's an interpersonal story about Miles working through his own therapy of all the events that he's been through up until this point, like the incursions and all that. It's not really that political. It's literally Miles going like, damn, I'm emotionally fucked up from having my family replaced like twice in 2 different Universal acts, you know? And I think that's why it's like, DC, publish a fucking blacklight book. Like, and who cares if people buy it? They will. And if they don't, who cares? Let it go for like 30 issues so that way you can say, hey, we had a 30-issue Mr. Terrific run if you want to read that. That's sick. People love that, you know? You could add Steel involved in literally any of the Superman stuff. Like, no offense to Joshua Williamson or Mark Waid, but like you're throwing every Superman character at in the kitchen sink, but for some reason Steel's not going to be involved in any of this. He's just going to sit on the sidelines and like fucking do nothing. I don't know. Yeah, it's so weird. I didn't even realize I was riled up about this as much as I was until I was in it, and I was like, wait, this is so goddamn ridiculous. Like, and it's so stupid, and I think the reason I'm so frustrated about it is that it's such an easy fix. It's such an easy fix to say, hey, we're doing it. Like, even just 2 books. 2 books, people would be like, fuck yeah, I'll buy those, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I'll stop you there because we're out of mom, but listen, I love that you said that. Took the words right out of my mouth. You know a lot more than comics explain, that's for sure.
Oh my god.
But yeah, for that, all I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put this on the soundboard, and we're gonna move on.
Yeah, listen,
I'm gonna say this real quick. You can clip this.
bars, nigga. You know
Yup.
nothing about that.
Yep.
I'm gonna say this. You can clip this. Send Scott Snyder 2 black-led mainline books. Give me 1 new black absolute book. I know. Listen. Hey. I know we're doing Catwoman.
Yeah,
but that's a 6-issue mini. Give me a new black ongoing absolute book. Could you imagine? Absolute Mr. Terrific, Absolute Steel, Absolute Black Lightning, literally Absolute Static. What would Absolute Static look like? How cool would that be?
I don't even know, dude.
How crazy would that be? What would you do with the Bang Babies? How would you do half of Milestone in an Absolute book? How could you make that shit darker? What's going? You know what I mean? Like, how interesting could that get?
Maybe we should save that for like a separate podcast. Just pitch ideas for like what other absolute books should we?
Oh my god, we should do like because Sal doesn't do Elseworlds Exchange anymore, and that was the podcast where they used to do those kinds of pitches. You know what I mean? So like, hey, there's a void, Mikey. We could just do a pitch podcast for an hour a week. We get a topic and we
fill the void. All right, bro.
I could pitch my absolute Aquaman book starring Calderon that I fucking sent you, and you were like, "Damn, that sounds sick as fuck."
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope. But yeah, bro, sorry. We gotta move on. We gotta move on to the next topic. But
move on. Enough talking about black people, Mikey. It's time to talk about the white boy of the year, Spider-Man.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
All right, listen. We gotta move on. But people, the second printing I think is in the works. I don't know if it's gonna come out in the next few weeks, but or next month. But be on the lookout for that. Read this issue. Let's support it. Let's keep it going. Fuck discrimination comics. Let's fucking go. All right, so next topic real quick is obviously one of the big things that came out yesterday, as well as the Dune Part 3 trailer, was the trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day. And again, like I wanna, even though we've already seen it, but I don't mind watching it again because I've watched it multiple times throughout the course of the past 2 days. But off rip, Seamus, what were you thinking? What were you thinking going into the movie? Because I remember we were seeing a bunch of rumors. We saw some of the set photos. You know that some of the characters like the Punisher, Bruce Banner were coming back, and how this was going to continue, or how this is going to be like kind of like a revamp of what happened in No Way Home. What were you thinking going into
it, seeing those set photos? I thought those set photos looked incredible. I thought those set photos were looking insanely good, and I was like, wow, that Spidey suit is rivaling Amazing Spider-Man 2 in terms of how good that fucking thing looks.
Oh yeah, dude,
and
for sure.
The rumors coming out about the plot had me a little concerned because I was like, wow, that sounds like a lot's going on. That sounds like a lot that you're trying to get in a 2-hour movie. And so going into this trailer, I also thought the way they did the trailer rollout was really stupid.
Yeah,
I thought that clip system, like, I understand where the idea was coming from, but that's an idea that should have been shot down before they did it and been like, it might not work, because it really didn't work. Seeing a bunch of out of sequence 2-second clips on a random Brazilian cosplayer's Instagram, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I appreciate what you're trying to do for the fans, but this sucks. So I was excited to see the actual trailer instead of the clips before I saw this.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I was very excited to see the set photos. I think this suit is probably the best suit we've ever gotten so far, especially because it's a practical suit, unlike what we've gotten in the past 3 movies in the MCU where it's like a perfect form-fitting suit. So like this, I thought this looks fantastic. I mean, seeing now Tom actually become the Spider-Man we hope we wanted him to be, not just Iron Man Jr. For most of the Infinity Saga, I thought was great. Again, it's a new change of pace, even though we don't always want to see our boy Pete depressed, but like him being depressed is kind of who he is at this point. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll hopefully see that. And seeing some of the set photos, seeing Frank being involved, which again I was very iffy on, but after watching the trailer, I thought, okay, this actually I like what they're going on with their relationship, and also the fact that Destin Daniel Cretton is directing, and he's the guy who directed Shang-Chi, and Shang-Chi was one of my favorite movies of Phase 4.
Of Phase whatever was going on back then.
Whatever the fuck. Yeah. So to see him, because one of my biggest complaints about the John Watts trilogy of Spider-Man movies were that like they didn't really have a actual visual style. They just looked kind of like Disney safe, kind of like generic. So I knew
it was so weird because he didn't have a style and they looked safe, but then there would be in every movie there would be one sequence or one scene that you'd be like, holy shit, and then it would go right back to like normal, and you'd be like, what the fuck was that? Why couldn't we get that for the whole movie?
Yeah, exactly. And so I knew like knowing how good he was in terms of his shots and his scenes in Shang-Chi, I thought he's gonna be mad creative with this. And plus, like we know he's gonna do a very heartfelt, emotional story because we just watched Wonder Man. We did a review for it. Me and Maddie, shout out to Maddie, and I thought Wonder Man was one of the best. It's probably one of the best, if not the best, MCU show we've ever gotten. And I really enjoyed it. So, I was very optimistic with this with this going into it. So we'll just go right into it, bro. We'll just rewatch the trailer one more time. Then we will kind of do a little quick breakdown because I have thoughts, I have theories. So yeah, bro, we will just get right into it. So this is the trailer for Spider-Man, Brand New Day. Oh shit.
I can't believe our first hit at MIT. MJ, come on, pretend like you're not the happiest you've ever been in your entire life.
I can't.
I knew it.
Man, look at that suit, dog. Oh my god. Looks so good. Look at this shot. So I'm talking about with that style, bro.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker. You don't remember me, but we used to know each other. Something bad was going to happen, and the only way to stop it was to make everyone forget about me. Because I'm not just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man.
So good. It looks so good, this suit.
What the hell, Frank? You just hit me with a van!
Quit your whimpering. Suit yourself.
Go home!
He's just a nuisance. I love it. I love this
Spider-Man
dynamic.
has to do the hard thing, even if it breaks Peter Parker's heart. What is happening to me? Excuse me, Dr. Banner. I need your help.
What did you say your name was? If DNA is mutated, it could be enormously dangerous.
Spiders have 3 life cycles. When between the cycles, it can leave the spider vulnerable to threats.
All right, this right here. This is where I got theories for.
That we can't control.
This is where I got theories for.
One we can't even see. Stay out of my way.
Scorpion!
You're losing it, kid.
And for those spiders who make it through, it amounts to a kind of
So good, man.
rebirth.
Nice flowers.
Oh, they're housewarming.
I'm MJ.
I'm just a neighbor from across the hall.
Friendly neighbor.
Stupid. All right, bro. So one of the things I wanted to talk about again, just showcasing the layer, like Destin Daniel Cretton, again, is really showcasing. Yeah, like we're gonna get some really cool swinging scenes in this movie. Really good compositions. Color grading looks pretty good. Very. At times, sometimes very like kind of. I mean, I feel like the color grading kind of affects what Peter Parker's going through. Very dark, just depressing, but sometimes you get really good, like bright moments as well. Really good shot composition, especially when he's doing homages, like when he's doing the covers. I loved that little montage with the covers, with the cover homages. I thought that was fantastic. And yeah, it looks like we're gonna get some pretty dope like swing shot, like this shot right here. Like, look at that, bro. Look at that scene composition, man. It's good shit. It's really good shit.
That doesn't look like a good shot right there.
Oh yeah,
it was a little muddy.
But like, when we're getting shots like this, we're getting like the actual POV of what his mask.
That's a good shot. That's an interesting shot. I like that one a lot.
Like, it's something like it's a little bit of seasoning. Know what I mean? Which I appreciate.
I think some of the shots look a little fucked up and a little weird, and I think that it's less due to Destin Daniel Cretton's direction and more due to the fact that the way Marvel does VFX now is so fucked up.
Oh,
it's so weird and fucked up and spread out amongst like 3,000 VFX artists instead of like a small team of like 200. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to pump these out as quick as possible. So instead of like a very focused team of like 100 people led by one dude, it's now like 3,000 people over 8 different departments and shit. And that's why everything looks weird, and it's all filmed to be interchangeable VFX wise. And I think that, no fault of Destin Daniel Cretton, but I just think that that's how these movies are filmed now. And I think that's why no swinging, at least under the current way movies are made, no swinging is going to surpass The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I was telling you this off camera yesterday, but I was like, it's kind of crazy how like a lot of these scenes look worse than a mid-tier blockbuster we got like 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the shot looks bad. I think it's at least interesting to have the no credit given sticker in the background right beside a tired Peter Parker. I like that a lot. I like this shot of the washing machine of the Spidey suit spinning around. I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Destin Daniel Cretton's a competent and very, very cool director to watch, because Shang-Chi was very cool. And I like Shang-Chi a lot because that movie was focused story-wise, and this movie feels like it's like got a lot going on in it. A lot of people in it, a lot of characters doing shit. I hope he's able to really plan it out and work it out in a way that kind of seems focused and, you know, and is not all over the place. But yeah, all these characters kind of got me a little scared that it might feel a little all over the place.
A little cramped. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things I have an issue with too.
Yeah,
but yeah,
well, I think those are my only two issues. Is just a lot of the visuals look a little, maybe it'll be buffed out, you know, by the time it comes out in July, and a lot of stuff going on in the plot that we'll see.
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
I really do like the look of a lot of the stuff in here.
Yeah, for sure. And also I do like the fact that like we're piggybacking off of No Way Home with the memory loss spell. So now it's just Peter Parker being oppressed from afar and stalking his friends and making sure that they're okay, and trying to maybe reinsert himself back into their lives somehow, even though they don't know who he is. So that I think is an interesting angle. And again, it adds to, like, you know, yeah, Peter's kind of going through it like as he should be. I thought the key to the city moment was nice as well, like the fact that he has the key to the city.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that means Fisk isn't mayor anymore.
Well, yeah, maybe, yeah. That's probably a spoiler for Born Again, but yeah, Fisk isn't there anymore because the mayor gives out the key to the city, so yeah, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but you know, it is what it is. Let's talk about Frank real quick, man. Seeing our boy Frank Castle come back. I love the fact that like their relationship in this is that like Frank is just the nuisance in Peter's life that he knows he could just take care of immediately because he's Frank, he just says you just go home, just like you're not really accomplishing much here, bro. I got this, like, you know.
Yeah,
I love it.
I think it's weird we're getting that Punisher one shot after Born Again and Spider-Man.
Is it after or is it not before?
I think it's after. They started filming that after both of these.
Oh wow, okay.
So that's why I'm like, it's weird that we are getting Born Again's ending the Fisk storyline, Spider-Man's ending, you know what I mean, its storyline, and then just before Doomsday, we're gonna get a one shot of how did Frank escape that cage he was locked in the basement.
Yeah.
And that's could you imagine that's the lead up to Doomsday? At the end of that, he escapes and there's an incursion going on or something.
And he's like, "Oh shit, what do I do?" And
shit, I gotta fuck with Spider-Man.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. But I told you, it was like, I really don't. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be that way. But like, I was like, don't make this man a man, because like, you know, we're taking Peter Parker, Spider-Man back to street level, which she should be. You know, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Don't make Punisher a mentor for this man. He's a fucking psychopathic murderer. It doesn't make any sense. Like, please, just have him just be like, you know, the thorn in his side.
I was gonna say, like I said, I think if Daredevil's in the movie, he's gonna do the mentor thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, like I said, I think the joke's gonna be that Peter's gonna be like, "Oh, Bruce Banner, can you be my new Doctor Strange Iron Man?" And Bruce hulks out and goes Savage Hulk, and Spider-Man's like, "Oh," and then he's like, "Frank, no, I'm not doing Frank. I can't do Frank." And then that's when Daredevil is there, and Daredevil's like, "No, I can't be your mentor. I'm so fucked up." And Pete's like, "Well, that's why you should be, because you're the only person I met today who recognizes how fucked up they are." You know?
Exactly. So, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
Hopefully
but
that's
yeah,
how that works.
Yeah, I hopefully that is how that works. I would love that. But yeah, but so far, liking John Bernthal and the fact that like we're so used to seeing the Punisher in a rated R setting. The fact that like he like you know, he's being silenced because he's in a PG-13 movie now is kind of hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to see. And also, they changed the logo. No, I think they did. Yeah, they changed the logo a little bit.
Yeah, because you can't. China doesn't allow skulls.
Oh yeah, that's right, huh? Okay.
So they had to make it like a big skull looking, because China, I guess, is scared of skulls or something.
I guess
they're scared. I guess that's why, and apparently that's also why Ghost Rider hasn't gotten off the ground, because that's what Ryan Gosling said.
Ooh, okay.
Earlier today, about when he was on the Project Hail Mary thing, and he was like, "Yeah, I had talks about playing Ghost Rider, but there are some issues with that apparently." And I guess they just, which I guess means that they couldn't find a way to not make Ghost Rider a skull, which he's Ghost Rider.
He's a Ghost Rider. Yeah, that's kind of his thing.
He's a flaming fucking skull. Just sell the movie and don't put it over in China and let me have that. Fuck.
So, Seamus, real quick, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room, right? I remember when the casting announcement was announced about this character, but I was hoping, I was like, they're not gonna actually do it. Like, come on. But yeah, apparently Paul's in this movie.
That's not Paul. They're not gonna call him Paul. They're not gonna do that.
You sure? I think it'd be hilarious if it was Paul.
He's not Paul. They're not doing it. They know if they did that, they know what kind of shit they would be inviting. And if I was writing this movie, I would not be inviting that shit into my home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would throw out a random side Spider-Man. I would make him Boomerang. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, it's Boomerang. Isn't that funny? You know what I mean? Because Boomerang's in the movie. And I'd be like, no, that's way better than like Paul, because everyone hates Paul, and not in like a fun, we like to hate Paul way, like in a, oh, this is like markedly bad. You know what I mean? Way. So like, no, I don't think he's playing Paul. I know you're trying to fucking find a way to ruin my fucking little day by like going like, no, look, he was Paul. And like, if that happens, dude, I'm coming and I'm gouging your eyes out. Okay, so you better hope that it's not true. So let me have my fucking peace right now. Okay.
yeah, but like, listen, man, it's a possibility.
Stop. That's not.
But
I don't.
Anyway, just to move on, I just want to do that just to T-shape.
Yeah, it's just like if I was standing over you that entire last segment going, well, there's a possibility there's no more Black Books ever coming to DC, and they actually cancel all that.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? That's on the same level of you saying Paul's going to be in a Spider-Man movie for me. Same level.
But this one part of the trailer, we're just like, okay, this is where we're going to get through, like, what's going to be the obstacle, what's going to be, you know, the challenge for this character throughout the course of the story, what's going to be their, you know, arc. And the fact that, dude, they're straight up doing the fucking mutation arc, bro. That like was in the
I don't know how I feel about them doing the other.
them doing the other, crazy. I didn't expect that. But then like when you see, especially with all the coach trailer, like what we're seeing, you know, how this mutation is being displayed, I was like, I can see them cooking a little bit of man spider action, or even some like 6-arm Spider-Man action. If I told you, if I see him turning if they get that weird and he transformed into fucking man spider in this fucking movie, like straight up, like cut the check. That's it. Because I'm a huge fan of that arc in the 90s animated series. I love that arc a lot in the comics. So if they, because again, like this Spider-Man movie, I feel like feels a little bit more comic booky than the rest of them than some of the last ones have been. So the fact that so if they go like that comic book weird and turn Peter Parker into Man Spider for the first time ever in live action, that'd be amazing. I would love it so much if they did that. But it appears to be they do the homage to the other where he's in the cocoon, and it looks like, you know, we're gonna have him, you know, develop organic webbing for the first time, which I think is kind of funny. What happened?
Organic webbing, so stupid.
It's dumb, but the thing is, if it serves the plot of like he's mutating, like that I'm fine with. But if they just did it just to do it out of nowhere, I'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't like that. But I kind of find it funny that they kind of did that, you know, organic webbing joke in No Way Home with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So the fact that he's actually like gets it because of his mutation, I think it's kind of funny, and I hope they acknowledge it too as well, as a nod to the last movie. But that's the thing. I've said this. Yeah, I don't really like organic webbing at all. I prefer the web shooters because it showcases Peter Parker's, you know, scientific side, his tech side. But but if it serves the plot, I'm fine with it. Like,
it doesn't make any goddamn sense, because it's like, okay, the spiders don't have 2 web shooters; they only have 1 web shooter. So it doesn't make sense that he'd have 2 on his wrist. That doesn't make any fucking, like, you know what I mean? Because it's all the people who want the organic stuff are like, no, it's scientifically accurate. Why would he stop the mutation at? Why wouldn't he also shoot webs? And it's like, okay, well then if he does shoot webs, why isn't he shooting him out his fucking asshole? Why is he shooting him out 2 wrists? Why does he have 2 of them? What's going? You know what I mean? As soon as you start that, it turns into a who changes the tires on the Batmobile fucking argument, where it's like, no, dude, the whole point is that him having the web shooters limits him in a way that causes him to have to use his brain during fights. You know what I mean? And that's the cool aspect. That whole scene, again, as much as I fucking hate the Amazing Spider-Man 2, that one scene where he has to save them only using 1 web shooter because one of them was busted is interesting because you're like, oh shit, he can only do that. You know what I mean? It's simple. And it's like, you know, the only reason we have organic webbing is because Sam Raimi, and the only reason Sam Raimi did it is because he's a horror freak and he thought it'd be grosser if he had web shooters. And he actually wanted to make them little spinnerets on there that look gross. And then the producers were like, that's too gross. We can't do that. And then Sam Raimi went, fuck it, fine. He has holes. Fuck. You know what I mean? And now people are so attached to that idea and they're like, no, it's actually cool if he has organic webbing. And you're like, no, it's fucking not. Where does he make it? Does he make it in his little fucking wrist? Does he have like a little wrist sack in there? What the fuck does it lead to? Does he have a hole that produces white fluid? Because at that point, it just makes his arm in a giant dick. Like, oh, like what do you like? You know what I mean? Like, what? Where does it end?
And real quick, shout out to Amazing Spider-Man 1, which is like one of my personal favorite Spider-Man movies. But that's one of my favorite parts about the movies when he develops the web shooters. He usually makes them out of like, you know, old like, you know, watches and stuff like that. And I love the web shooters so much. But yeah, I mean, does it make any sense? No, but like again, if it's gonna serve the mutation arc, like I'm fine with that. I'll excuse it. But yeah, so I just thought that was like I think that's one thing that everybody's talking about, and it's like, yo, like that's it's like, yeah, like we'll see where that goes.
I saw Quentin reviews on Twitter talk about how he doesn't get the web shooters. He's like, I don't understand it. It never made any sense. Organic web shooters made more fucking sense. And you're like, just say you don't fucking understand Spider-Man. Just say you don't understand that a kid working out of his garage with the scraps that he has to find from the dumpster and from his school to create a scientific like a scientific gadget that helps him become a better superhero and helps people. You just don't get it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that tweet I saw today pissed me off because it's coming from a dude who made like 24 hours straight video about Sam and Cat, the TV show. And he can analyze the shit out of that. But all of a sudden when Spider-Man has web shooters, he's like, I can't fathom it. It makes no sense. They should have added 100 shittos to fucking like Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. And you're like, what are you talking about? He's had web shooters longer than you've been alive. And all of a sudden now you don't get it? Like, it's worked for 70 years. Why the fuck are we going to try to change it now? What's the point? You know?
Yeah.
Because even when they tried to do it in the other storyline, people hated the other storyline. They didn't like that. They were like, oh, this is weird.
It wasn't that good. But yeah, moving on to that. Banner is in this. I know you've told me, especially from leaks, that like he may turn into Savage Hulk. I kind of don't mind if he just doesn't turn at all. Like I like kind of him like kind of feeling like a Doc Connors like mentor role. I don't really mind if he doesn't Hulk out.
Dude,
at all.
he has look at his fucking hand. He has the biggest. I have an inhibitor that's gonna break gadget on his wrist.
Is that an inhibitor? Or is that like his
That's the inhibitor
brace?
from She-Hulk.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's totally gonna shatter, and he's gonna go into Savage Hulk, dog.
Yeah, okay, it's possible.
You're like, I'm okay if the Hulk doesn't Hulk out. I'm not, man. I want to see the.
Yeah, you're a Hulk guy. You're a Hulk fan. I'm not like a huge Hulk fan.
I am a big Hulk fan, and I think
I'm not a huge Hulk fan, but I do like this part where it's like, okay, like he's asking Banner for help.
On my laptop right now. I'm playing it during this podcast.
That is so funny. But yeah, no, it's like, yeah, I like the fact that Banner's kind of going to take up like, you know, kind of like a mentor role, kind of like someone like a Doc Connors. Where
he's not. They're switching. I'm telling you, they're going to switch up on him where he's going to act like a mentor, and then he's going to Hulk out, and Spider-Man's going to be like, this guy has a lot of issues. I don't know if I can handle him.
And then he's going to turn into Man Spider, and then out of stress of the situation.
That would be the only cool part if he did turn into Man Spider, and then the Hulk helped him through that as like a Spider-Man's hulking out. I think that would be an interesting way to connect the two, and then it would make me, because I was gonna say earlier, it's not that I don't like Man Spider, but I've never really been too down with Man Spider. I've always thought it was more of just like a meh. Like,
oh come on, really? I thought it was cool.
Honest to God, I did. When I saw it in the cartoon, I just felt like I was like, this feels like just like a cool variant cover design. You know what I mean? You can never really tell a meaningful story with it that's like going to be like, whoa. And like, what was the coolest thing they did with Man Spider? It's Spider Island. That was the coolest thing they did with it when everyone started turning into spiders. And you're like, oh, that's cool. Spider-Man has to teach everyone how to be Spider-Man. That's cool. And that's it. That's really the limit that you can do with that kind of story. So I think going the other direction and having it be like a metaphor for hulking out and the Hulk's in this movie, that could be cool if they do that. You know? If they have Man Spider be Spider-Man's Hulk for this movie while he's having fucked up power situation, then like, sure, cool. It gives Hulk something to do. Gives Bruce Banner some more character development because now he has to teach another person. Because like She-Hulk could control it, and that was what made her different. And that's why Bruce was like, "Ooh, I don't really know how to train you because like you know how to control it." So like, ooh. Whereas you know Peter not being able to control it, then Bruce would be like, "There's my guy. He destroys stuff on a whim on accident and hates himself. That's my boy."
So funny, but yeah. So like to see Mark Ruffalo back. Did Mark Ruffalo? I don't know if he announced it or not, or if he said it, but like, is he not coming back to Disney after all the political shenanigans?
No. No. This was filmed last year, so
okay. I just went in the future, like I don't know.
I know. I'm pretty sure he's coming back for Doomsday and shit like that, but I'm also pretty sure that he is using these Marvel movies as a platform to say whatever he wants, which is equally as valid as Oscar Isaac saying he never wants to work, and him and Tatiana Maslany saying they don't want to work with Disney. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Mark Ruffalo donates all his money and like uses all the press junkets as an opportunity to speak out on issues, which I'm like, that's equally as valid as saying I don't want to work with Disney because of
that's fair.
So, like,
I'm just curious. I was just hearing stuff that like, oh, he said he's like, yeah, I'm done with Disney. So I'm like, are you sure? Like,
even if he was, I wouldn't be surprised. You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
He's one of the few actors with a backbone. So like,
yeah. So yeah, all right. So yeah, bro, we gotta move on real quick. But yeah, but also seeing like the mutation of the webs everywhere, the fact that it looks like his spider sense like got like fucking amped, and he's like struggling with that as well. I love this shot too. What happened?
I said, "Hey, look, there's web shooters."
Yep. I love this shot as well. Where like, look, like where he hits the water tower. I love that. It's a beautiful shot. Like it's. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, May. Now that like even though again, they've never like Uncle Ben should exist, but it's just like the fact that after No Way Home, May becomes now his quote unquote like Uncle Ben and his motivation as as Spider-Man. I think it's really cool. So just
I wonder why they hide her birthday.
That's a good question. I don't know why.
We all know how old Marissa Tomei is. She's a real person. Like
yeah, for sure. But yeah, so seeing the headstone, that's awesome. And obviously I feel like she's gonna have a shadow as well throughout the course of this story on Aunt May, and her death. All right, this is where I was like, yo, because Sadie Sink is in this movie. We talked about this yesterday, actually. Me and you, Seamus, in the chat in VC. But we see what it looks like to be, and they're obviously hiding her. You don't actually see her in the actual trailer, her face, but I'm assuming this is her. And because this looks that, but then we see this little moment here where Spider-Man is saving a woman from, I believe this is the tank from earlier that Frank Castle was trying to stop. And this old lady's piloting it. We're just like, oh shit. And then we see kind of her look, and then this guy just gets like a little jolt. And it appears that like this person these people are getting their brains kind of like taken for a test drive, and it's hopping from person to person. So me and Seamus were thinking, we're like, yeah, we're theorizing and shit. We're nerds. We do that shit. We've heard rumors. I'm confident I'm confident that that she's playing Jean Grey. Like I don't know anyone else she would play besides Jean Grey.
I think she's
shit!
playing the Queen still. I still think she's playing the
You think
Queen.
she's been the Queen? Oh, shout out to my girl. Shout out to my girl, Chris. Hey, Chris. Thanks you for. She's here. And we just open my eyes. My screen is so bright. Yo, we
bright down.
Well, they did turn up. Well, first, I turn the brightness down, please. We don't want you blinding yourself. Also, did you just wake up?
Waking up at like 11 p.m.
Insane. That's crazy. Well, thank you so much, love. We appreciate you being here as always. Yeah, you think she's playing the Queen? You think is you might be right, but I just don't want to accept it. So that's why I'm really like, nah.
I don't want Jean Grey to be in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, it just seems too bloated. It seems too much of a. It seems like too much of a shoehorn. You know what I mean? It feels too random. It feels too weird. It just feels too much like they're like, hey guys, X-Men's coming up after Doomsday, and we have to find a quick and easy way to set it up. You know what I mean? So that's why we're gonna like just throw Jean Grey in a random Spider-Man movie, so that way afterwards we can be like, remember Jean Grey in that Spider-Man movie? Here's the X-Men. You know?
I mean, here's the thing, right? It's like, I get what you're saying with that, but I'm like, Sadie Sink is a great actress, right? Is a really good actress, really good up and comer, right? I think putting her as a queen, even though I could see the Queen, especially because of the whole mutation arc and how they're making nods to the other and all that stuff. But don't you think that's a waste of Sadie Sink to have her be the fucking queen of all characters? That's kind of
you're talking about Sadie Sink like she's on the level of Zendaya, and she's not. She's on the level of the rest of the Stranger Things cast. You know what I mean? Like, no offense, but like you're talking about her like she's like Timothée Chalamet playing Boomerang, and that's not what it is.
No.
Sadie Sink as Jean Grey is like, that doesn't move me in any way. That doesn't make me go like, wow, I'm really excited for the X-Men. That just makes me go like, oh, Stranger Things lady, of course. Yet again, one of these young kids who can like kind of act is in one of these fucking things, you know? And it's just like, I would prefer her not to be Jean Grey, because I'm like, I don't see that. That casting doesn't fit to me really. And she's like done good things before, but like I was saying to you off camera, she's got Stranger Things face, you know? Like every time I see her, any of those actors, I'm like, it's just the Stranger Things kids. I don't buy you as a believable role anymore. I'm sorry.
That's the biggest thing for you, the Stranger Things face.
Yeah, it's just the consequence. And so her as Jean Grey shoehorned into a Spider-Man movie, it's a casting I don't really like, in being introduced in a way I really don't like, would just make me go, hey, I'm turned off by this already. Like, the X-Men haven't even started, I'm already turned off by this. You know? like they're the X-Men's being done by the guy who did Thunderbolts, you know? And Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, all of that coalescing together makes me so not care about the X-Men. Which sucks, because the X-Men are my favorite. So, like, you know, it's such a weird introduction that would make me go like, ooh, they're really desperate. They're really desperate to try to get people to get excited for stuff happening after Secret War. That they're trying to, you know what I mean, market, instead of like writing a real story. And it's just like, you know, weird. It would be so weird. And she's like supposedly going to be protected by like Frank, you know? And that's why I think her being the Queen and being protected by Frank's more interesting, because Frank wants to protect her, but then it turns out that she's actually the main villain. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's been lying to Frank the whole time. And Frank's like,
I'm going to stop you right there, bro, because Crystal is asking, what do you mean by Stranger Things face? Elaborate for her just briefly.
Stranger Things face. It literally, every time I see her, I just think, oh, the kid from Stranger Things. She's not going to be able to be divorced from the role. It's all those kids from Stranger Things. You know what I mean? They're no longer their actors. They're just, oh, that kid from Stranger Things. You know, which I think it just means they're intrinsically tied to a middling Netflix show that got very popular. So like that's what I'm saying. If I see her as Jean Grey, I'm never going to see her as Jean Grey. I'm going to see her as the girl from Stranger Things. It was the same thing when Jennifer Lawrence played what's her name? Mystique. When Jennifer Lawrence was Mystique, they went out of their way to let you know Jennifer Lawrence was Mystique, and I could never get into her Mystique because it was just Jennifer Lawrence playing a role that also happened to be Mystique. Whereas you look on the opposite side of that with Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Even though I knew who Michael Fassbender was, I was a big fan. When he was Magneto, that was Magneto to me. I didn't really see Michael Fassbender in that. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, I think for Sadie Sink, when I see her, I'm going to be like, yeah, that's Sadie Sink. That's the girl from Stranger Things. That's not, you know. Look at that girl wearing a Jet shirt. God.
Yeah. Disgusting.
That poor lady taking public transportation and a Jets fan. God.
And not expecting to get shot. That's insane. So listen. You're probably there's a chance you're right, but like I don't mind if it's like an introduction to Jean Grey.
I would prefer if she was playing like Screwball or like literally fucking anyone. You know what I mean? But if she's going to be the anchor point for the next 10 years of Marvel, I'm out. I'm gonna watch X-Men 97 for the rest of my life and go, wow,
Fair
that's
enough.
nice.
Fair enough. But yeah, so we'll do it quickly before we just move on real quick. But yeah, just got some little shots of like the homage shots. Obviously, Amazing Fantasy 15. Thought the shot was dope. What happened?
Too gray.
Yeah, but like I said yesterday, when off camera, I was like, I mean, he's like, oh, why is it gray? Like the background of the cover is gray. Well,
that was printed in 1960. Maybe they should have this. This is a movie filmed in 2026. Maybe we could make the background daytime and make it look dynamic and cool.
Chris was saying as well. Like I've heard that take. Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna be Mystique, you should be blue most of the time. Yeah,
you should be blue all the time. You should be blue all the time, unless you're transforming into someone else.
Which is exactly what Rebecca Romaine did. You know, and she did it well.
Rebecca Romaine, you know what I mean? Say what you want about her acting. She went full tilt into that fucking role, and that's why everyone loves her as Mystique, you know?
Mm-hmm. For sure, bro. And then we got this one. Love this. What was this? This is what Amazing Spider-Man 347? I think I could be wrong. 347. Oh Lord. But yeah, the fact that
like weird, it looks weird in motion.
Yeah, but
weird slow-mo effect makes it look AI, which I don't like at all.
Yeesh. I don't know about that.
I know it's not AI, but they use that weird slow-mo effect that AI uses all the time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I got you.
But it's like we rewind it and play it in motion, and then you'll be like, yeah, that is like the weird
AI thing. Yeah, possibly. I don't want to do it though.
I'm not saying they used AI, but I am saying they may be intentionally making their stuff look more like AI, so when they use AI in the future, it's less noticeable. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, man. But what's it called? Yeah, but the fact that they're actually like taking shots from like iconic covers, like that's awesome.
I need the webs to look more like McFarlane webs.
Yeah. Oh, yes. My bad. It wasn't 340. I was wrong. It was Amazing Spider-Man 345, and it's the Eric Larson. It's Eric Larson that did the cover, which I think
Eric
is dope.
Larson did great covers. I love him.
Oh yeah, dude. This like I'm literally looking at it like when I cut the reaction, I'm gonna put the image side by side. It's like dead on. Like it looks so good. But yeah. So yeah, shout out to Boomerang being a fucking Spider-Man movie. Let's go. Which again, I'm loving again. They're leaning more toward the comic booky side of things, which I really appreciate. So there's that, and then also seeing Tarantula. I was like, holy shit, it's Tarantula.
Tarantula is great. I do wish his costume looked a little more like Tarantula and less like because I said it earlier. I was like, it feels like they're stuck in that 2000s comic book era where they're like, well, we can't do the real costume. We have to do this tactical military version of Tarantula's costume. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you're like, I like that goofy Spider-Man knockoff costume he had in the comics because that was funny. Because it made him feel more like a knockoff than like, you know what I mean? Here it just feels like he's like a he looks like a Call of Duty character.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man looks like Spider-Man though, which is always a plus. That suit looks really fucking good.
It looks great.
I really like that suit a lot.
Then I'm looking at the cover, and it's Amazing Spider-Man 134. and it's spitting. It's dead on. I love it. Like,
it's dead on, but look at Tarantula, man. They couldn't give him the goofy fit.
I know, but like he got the feet thingies. He got the little feet thingies. So
yeah, but having the feet thingies is like minimum to being Tarantula. If you want to be Tarantula, you got to have the goofy knockoff costume that confuses everyone and makes them go, "Oh, are you Spider-Man?" And then he's like, "No."
Didn't they do Tarantula? I remember like in the comic they did for the Spider-Man PS4 game where Clayton Crane did the art. Didn't they do Tarantula or was it Black Tarantula?
I think it was Black Tarantula.
Okay, I gotcha.
Two very. I feel like it's that cabin in the woods bit. Two very different guys.
Yeah.
No. There's witches and then there's sexy witches.
And also there's zombies, but also there's zombie hippie, there's zombie zombie
hillbilly murder family.
Yeah. Two different things. But yeah, so these shots, I'm like, I appreciate the comic book homage, making it have that comic booky feel. So I think it's great.
Why does this look so gray?
I know, but again, they could change the color grading. They have time.
Here's also the thing: it's not an interesting gray.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because like you look at some other movies, like you go watch Seven. Seven is gray for a lot of the movie, and it's an interesting gray that you're like, wow, this feels bleak. Whereas this just feels like a flat gray that you're like, what? Why does it look like that? You know?
Yeah, and Cristal is saying as well, as like, and also I agree with the gray. I get that the gray background makes the suit pop more, but it's not for me. I have the same gripe with armored super suits. Put my heroes back in aerodynamic tights. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Do you see how good Spider-Man looks? And he's in tights, and he looks so fucking cool. And Tarantula looks so generic because he's in fucking like mid 2000s tactical armor that you're like, that doesn't look like any dude to me. He looks like a nondescript NPC that I take out at the beginning of a Spider-Man 2 mission on PS5, you know?
Yeah. But listen, man, we get what we get, I guess.
No, we don't, Mikey. You're fucking weak-willed. Wake up. Wake up and lock in, Mikey. You gotta fucking demand better for yourself, man. You stand up for Tarantula getting his costume just as you stood up for Black Books on DC.
I know, right? I wish I had the same amount of gusto for an accurate Tarantula.
Stand up for Tarantula.
Oh my god! And also just for ref, I'm trying to find like a wider image so I can put
Tarantula so bleak.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a wider image of like what Tarantula actually like that exact like cover is on screen, but I can't find a large enough image. But it's whatever. When I make an edited clip of the reaction, I'll put it next side. But it's Chris, if you're there, look up Amazing Spider-Man 134. That's the exact cover. You'll see what Tarantula actually looks like. So the final shot of the trailer, we get a little bit of we get a little Peter turning his eyes turning black, and you're like, oh shit, and also random ass hand ninjas, which again, that's my biggest gripe with the trailer. We'll talk about it, but I'm just like, look at his eyes turning black. That's crazy.
Spider eyes, Mikey. He's turning into a spider.
Yeah. But granted, didn't Kane have black eyes too when he when he was Scarlet Spider?
Don't even put it into my head that this could be Kane. Stop it.
No. I don't think his could be Kane. I'm just saying that
get me excited, man. Could you imagine? That's the bait switch of the movie is that he's actually Kane.
He's actually Kane. Yeah, that'd be nuts.
He's actually Kane because Peter left because it was too painful for him, and Kane stayed behind and took Peter's life for him.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But I think the spider eyes look really dope. Again, it's
that Stephen A clip where he's like, "Don't have me salivating and fantasizing."
But him mutating, again, this mutation's taking hold. That's dope. Him breaking the sword with the webs, that's insane. That's crazy.
That looks sick as fuck. That's a really cool shot.
And it's and here's the thing, the random hand ninjas looks great, looks cool. And also we get
Mikey, don't you see how cool it looks when Spider-Man's fighting descript villains that actually look interesting and visually look cool?
Yeah.
And doesn't this gray shot look more dynamic than the last one?
It does. It does.
Well, like, well, yeah, like they've shown me that they can make good shots like that. It's just that sometimes they don't wanna.
So here's the thing, right? With I guess what appears to be the hand showing up in this movie, right? Daredevil's in this movie. He has to be. He has to be in this movie.
That's already a big assumption you're making.
He has to be in this movie. Because me personally, as a Daredevil fan, and obviously you are a Daredevil fan as well.
You said that was such like you said that so seriously. I almost believed you that it was true that he was in this movie. The way you said it.
Listen to me. Let me real quick, bro.
Daredevil is in the movie, and I was like, for a second, I was like, really? He is? I didn't say no.
Charlie Cox was on Jimmy Kimmel last night, and he asked him the same thing, and he was literally like, even if I wasn't it, I can't tell you.
He did have an Andrew Garfield-ass response of, "No, I didn't see the trailer." That I was instantly like.
So that was the biggest problem I had with this trailer was the fact that like, okay, I'm gonna just immediately assume because the hand is in this movie, or these ninjas they're the fucking hand. They have to be. They're the hands in this movie. Daredevil has to be in this movie by association because one, Spider-Man rarely or damn near never interacts with the hand ever unless Daredevil's involved. Like the only you can't be a street level character and fight the hand and Daredevil's not there. That's a Daredevil thing. If it's not Daredevil, Elektra, or also kind of an odd one out, but also Wolverine. I also count Wolverine as well interacting with the hand.
I was gonna say Wolverine's fought the hand a lot.
Yeah,
it's
Wolverine.
Just him and Daredevil though.
Yeah, it's mainly Daredevil. So like Seamus, you know me. I'm gonna be pissed if the hand is just there for no reason and just Daredevil just isn't there. Like,
well, that big space under Spider-Man's actually going to be reserved for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's crazy. And also that's why I paused this shot too, because this looks like a shot that you just airbrushed. And we know they did that. They've almost done that before when they have these crazy ass wide shots and they hide some stuff. And they hide some stuff for the teaser. Like that's what they did with Toby and Andrew in that final shot in the trailer for No Way Home. So
I was gonna say I told you this off camera, and I'm saying it for the record. I want this on the record.
I bet.
When I saw the leaked trailer for this, when it was leaked like 2 months ago in that low quality, this shot was in the movie, and it had a completely different background, and it was indoors. But there was no other characters under Spider-Man. What it was, if you can kind of visualize by me describing it, it was so take the Spidey shot of him and the hand, draw a line between like going straight through him and the hand group, and pull it down so that way it's like level horizontally, and that's what it looked like. And so it was indoors.
It was a direct face off. No,
it was directly straight horizontally indoors, and it was like in like some what looked like an apartment room.
Yeah,
and it wasn't outside, and it wasn't Spider-Man leaping down. It was Spider-Man leaping like across the room towards these hand ninjas who were leaping at him.
I gotcha.
That's what the leaked trailer was. So that's why I was taught. That's why the space below him. I was like, I think there's so much space because they actually just tilted the entire like keynote of Spider-Man and what they filmed, and just changed the entire background so it was outside instead of indoors, because it was indoors in the leaked trailer that I saw like 2 months ago.
I gotcha.
And the leaked trailer, by the way, also almost everything else was exactly the same as in that leaked trailer, including the song they used, the voiceover about spider life cycles. Punisher showing up, all that shit was the same, except for this shot was changed from indoors to outdoors.
All right, well, so what you're telling me is Daredevil is in this fucking movie, because
I'm telling you that it's not impossible. But from what I saw, at least at that point, they didn't have anyone else in there that you know what I mean.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at his space.
I just explain to you why I think there's that much space. I'm not saying you're wrong. I am saying though, they did kind of flip it a little bit.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I'm gonna try to find that leaked trailer just so you can see what I'm talking about because it's hard to describe.
If you can find it to me, send it over. I want to take a look at it. Also, Chris also saying he's like, because I showed her to look up the cover for the debut of Tarantula, and she's saying they made his suit look so boring here. I want a big ass tarantula on them abs, down with the cool suits. Bring back whimsy, damn it. Yep. Fair.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's me, bro. It's like I was telling my coworker Carlos about it. I was like, bro, I don't give a fuck who you are. If the hand is involved, Daredevil has to be there. Like it's just fact. Like it makes no sense to just Spider-Man just fight the hand for no just encounter the hand and Daredevil just isn't there, which also goes by what you were saying earlier. I do think that Daredevil would be a dope mentor role for Peter Parker and also a good kind of like mediator between him and Punisher, right? Because I that's just me. You know what I mean? Like again, like why the like because if he's not in this movie and he just fights the hand for no reason, I'm gonna fucking walk out. Like I'm gonna be like, this is why? Like this makes no fucking sense. The writing it like it speaks for itself. If the hand is involved and it's a street level character, Daredevil's supposed to be there. Like fuck.
All right. I found it on Twitter.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it after we're done. But like,
I just sent it to you. I just sent it to you on Snapchat. You're gonna be able to totally see what I'm talking about now.
I bet.
And you're also gonna be able to see that it looks exactly the same because holy shit, all of these shots were in this movie. I can't believe they had that. That shot's not in there.
Okay, Seamus, hold on. We gotta close out. The thing is, like, I have nothing else to say on this trailer. I thought it was a good trailer. I'm definitely excited for it. Cautious a little bit, but excited nonetheless. Seamus, what are your final thoughts on the trailer before we close out? Because we plan on doing Invincible, but it's getting late. I think
we could do Invincible very quickly because I don't need to Invincible.
No, but then when you say very quickly, you're gonna be on here for like 30 minutes, bro.
I could do that. I could do that in 15 seconds.
Are you sure?
Spider-Man trailer. I thought I am gonna go see it. I do have some issues, but I do think that I trust Daniel Destin Cretton to deliver. So I hope it's very good.
All right, bet. Yeah, we'll see. I think this is the only trailer I'm going to see. I'm not going to watch any other trailers after this, honestly.
Yeah.
But all right. So next we'll just real quick. You know, obviously Invincible, season 4 came out. The first 3 episodes of season 4 came out yesterday. We watched them. I watched them all today. You know, Seamus watched them. You watched them like the day it came out. So yeah, just real quick, just Invincible. What's your thoughts on Invincible? The first 3 episodes of season 4 of Invincible.
First 3 episodes were great. My boy Dinosaur showed up. My boy Thrag showed up. My boy Space Racer showed up. I thought that the changes that they made from the comic book were all so good. I really do love a lot of the breathing room that they added to a lot of the scenes from the comics, and I do like the addition of watching the Scourge virus on Viltrum and watching young Nolan go through that. That was super cool. I love the conflict he has with Peter Cullen. That was so cool. I love Peter Cullen's voice. Matthew Reese's Dinosaurus sounds very cool. Winston Duke of Space Racer was very sick as fuck. That second episode where they're going through and getting all the weapons was so fun. I love that shit. The gag they do in that with the sex scene was so good. I love that they kept repeating it. Made me laugh. And then episode 3 scared the fuck out of me. I don't want to see Monster Girl and Robot go through that fucking portal because I fucking hate that storyline.
They did though. It's happening. You know, it's happening.
I hope they keep Eve getting that fucking superpowered abortion because that part was very good in the comics. Yeah, it was maybe the best start a season's had since season 1.
Chris is like Winston Duke. Yes, Winston Duke is in the show.
Winston Duke is in the show, and you are going to be so shocked as to who he's playing because he's a fucking alien-headed fucking man.
I don't even know if you even watch Invincible, Chris, but watch Invincible. It's great.
Yeah. Google Space Racer, and that's who he's playing.
Yeah, Space Racer is like one of the best. Is probably one of the best characters in Invincible.
Google Space Racer, and you're gonna be like, oh.
Yeah. It's not exactly what you expect, Chris. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think so far the season's really good. I forgot Dinosaurus was coming because I was like, oh wait, yeah, he's a part of this arc. Dinosaurus coming in, great. The Sequins coming back and doing like, you know, and getting closure on that arc, fantastic. And how that sets up Mark's like, you know, a little bit darker path that he's going through, great. You know, again, the additional scenes that they're adding to keep it a little bit fresh, I think those are fan. I also love that as well, especially because, you know, as someone who's read the comic twice, it keeps it a little fresh, and also humanized Nolan a lot, like especially like in terms of his past. I thought that was great, and that was really dope. Yeah, the whole robot monster thing. Again, I hate that arc a lot, but we'll see how they're. I feel like Robert Kirkman knows that we don't like it, so like he's gonna find a way to like, you know, do some tweaks. You know, hopefully we'll do some tweaks and make it a little bit better. Yeah, the Eve's arc with her powers and, you know, the big reveal at the end. That was like, you know, I thought was a good. Well, they did very well. Again, a lot of it's very accurate to the comics, so like it's hard for me to be like, oh, like this was good, this is bad, because I know a lot of it's good for the most part.
Yeah.
Oh, the stuff with Titan, in the third episode, I thought that was dope. And the Order, I love how they're fleshing out the Order more, because they barely touch on it in the comics outside of like guarding the globe and stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, I thought this season is really good. Again, I'm loving Mark's arc. I mean, like this is the arc I really enjoyed in the comics a lot, where Mark is really battling with, you know, his more Viltrumite side, especially when it comes to killing people for the greater good, especially when it comes to protecting the family and the world, his family and the world. And yeah, I'm really digging it. And also, shout out to Oliver for finally getting his more mature Kid Omni-Man costume, because I love that costume a lot in the comics. The black and red look. So, yeah, Chris said Space Racer visually has Winston Duke's chaotic oak tree energy. That's but yeah, so far I'm really digging it. Also, loving that, like, you know, when he's recruiting the weapons, like he talks about Tech Jacket. Again, so we're gonna get. So again, Tech Jacket's a major player. Shout out to Christian, because Christian.
Do you think our Tech Jacket's going to be a woman or not?
No, Tech Jacket's gonna actually. I don't know. What did they say that they were gonna gender?
There's a whole thing where they think Zoe Dutch is playing Tech Jacket, and they think they gender swap Tech Jacket, but people are confused because they don't know how voice actors work. Because I said that I don't think Tech Jacket's going to be gender swap, because that's a big thing that they would announce before. And the only reason they thought Tech Jacket was being gender swapped is because of a erroneous report about the voice cast. And I'm like, didn't everyone fuck up the voice cast last time when they misattributed who Brit was playing and like who Conquest was playing, and they fucked all that? So I'm like, why would we trust these same people again? But so many people genuinely think that Tech Jacket's getting gender swapped, which it's like, it could happen, but like I'd be shocked if that happened.
It'd be kind of funny, because shout out to Christian, you know, who was on the pod for a while. We always compare him to Tech Jacket, so it'd be funny, but like because I always, every time I see Tech Jacket on the show, I'm like, oh, it's Christian. But like, that'd be fucking hilarious if it's like it's a gender bent Tech Jacket. It's like, oh wait, never mind. Oh yeah, but that'd be interesting. But yeah, and also love seeing more Guardians of the Globe again. Like, I'm just happy that like they were able to use Brit and like capes and all that, because they're such a cool part of the Invincible universe, in my opinion, in terms of the side characters. But yeah, overall, this was so far. It's really good. I'm really digging this season so far, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to see, like, you know, the Viltrumite War is next. Like, I always find it also crazy the fact that, like, yeah, like right after the Invincible War, we get a little break, and then the Viltrumite War is like right around the corner. So
yeah, you get dinosaurs in the Viltrumite War, and you're like, yeah, this is a good time. Man.
And I'm looking for Battle Beast too. I forgot where Battle Beast is at in this.
Me too, and I don't want to speculate because I want it to be a surprise where I see it and I go, oh yeah.
Yeah, true.
We also have that Damien Darkblood Hell arc too. Don't forget.
Yeah, the new Hell arc. Yeah, that I'm very excited about too. That's fresh. That's new. So
yeah.
So that's pretty much it. I got nothing else really to say. Watch it. Just if you have Amazon Prime, watch it. Like it's fantastic, and I'm happy that it's back. Yeah. All right, that's pretty much it. So we'll just close it out right quick. So thanks for everyone who are watching this or will watch this. We appreciate it. Please, if you haven't already, please like the videos, share it, subscribe, and please hit the notification bell so you know when we drop new content. Also, anything that we've discussed, like what do you think of the Spider-Man trailer? What do you think of Dakota Incident? What do you think of the Lantern stuff, etc., etc.? Put it out in the comments below. We want to see your thoughts. And as always, people, we're back at it again, doing more content. Please, Why Last Man is coming back. However, we're going to be doing a little one and done special next week that we're excited for Women's History Month. That I'm really excited to do. There'll be an announcement about that soon. But please check out Why the Last Man if you haven't already. Check out the rest of Indie Court After Darks, the reactions, the interviews. There'll be a few other interviews coming up. There's someone in specific in mind that I met at BlerDCon over the weekend that I'm very excited to bring on. He is affiliated with one of our previous guests, so I'm very excited about that. Please look at our rest of our other content. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Chris told us good job, guys. Thank you, Chris. I love you. Appreciate you as always. And as always, people, get home safe. We'll catch y'all next time. All right. Peace.